Hi. 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 There we go. We're almost there. There we go. Let's see. For people learning OCaml, you can define infix operators. I'm glad Pick is out there doing the Lord's work. And he tagged Pope Francis. Who is this man? I know, Emotional Prime, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. Oh, hey, Dax. You just rated the channel with 8 viewers. Let's go. You had more than that. What happened? You had a lot more than that. Confirming that VOD audio is fixed. Oh, yes. Okay, hey. Quick question. Here, I need to try something. Can someone take a clip right now of the channel and see, does the music make it onto the clip? Because it shouldn't. But if it does, what the F? What the F? You know what I mean? I want to see if it does. Hello, from Morocco. It does not make it. Well, I want to see a clip. Let's see a clip. Hey, thank you very much for the sub. Sorry, I don't have all the things all uploaded. I'm sorry. I don't have any alerts on. I'm confused. I haven't even sent out a message yet. Look at that. I haven't even done this part. Oh my goodness. Why am I frozen? What's happening here? Hey, Dax and Aaron. I called you Aaron. Adam, sorry. Other guy who likes Laravel.
Welcome to Costco.
I love you. The other dude, what is this? Why is it so slow? Okay, hey. Hold on. I just want to make sure that there's no music. Because that sucked. I ruined a bunch of recordings. I can't do my my learning OCaml stream. Confirming that VOD audio is fixed. Oh. Ooh, yeah. I confirmed. Man, I sound like such a dweeb. Why do you guys listen to me?
Costco. I love you.
Why do you listen to me? I sound like a cartoon character, but not even a good one.
I love you.
Rhyme, dime, prime, dime. Completely bombed the interview today. I'm sorry. I have the stream muted. Okay, well, line with the crime. Slipping lemon lime, enjoying prime time, doing crime, so you know I'm doing time. Damn, man, you guys are like poets. Just really shitty ones. Jakery, thank you for the tier 1. Let's go. And Morgal, 1.25 years. Let's celebrate a random time. Dude, Morgal, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Every time I hear your name, I think of Minas Morgul. Love the content. Thanks for keeping hype to code. Awesome. Speed O Mac Muffin. Hell yeah. Wakandu. Let's go. Twitch Prime. Let's go. Dax, again, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And those must be all the rest of the crap. Try 3JS. Hey, Prime, just try that. What happened if I don't want to try that? Have you thought about that? What happened if I don't want to try 3JS? You know what I don't want to do? Real talk. I don't want to use JavaScript. Okay? So why would I want to use 3JS? Are you switching back to QWERTY at some point? How much OCaml exposure before you start speaking in monads and functors? I still need more. What terminal are you using? Basics. Default. Sugma.js? No, maybe I could do that. Ligma.js? Definitely. Grim Ripley, thank you very much. Thank you for following. Leon. Appreciate that. Hey, Prime, do you like Euros? I do. Dude, Euro meat is so good. I want to see you making a game in a 2-hour challenge. I want to see you do that. Why? I did. No. Shallow Chrome. Let's go. Have you made a game? Yes, I have. I made a couple games. My favorite educational streamer. Hell yeah. Hey, TJ, how you doing? I'm super excited about doing more OCaml. YouTube stream, YouTube only stream this Friday. Okay. I know you YouTubers are always like, oh, give me the stream. subscribed, so we're gonna give you the streams. I like Euros and long walks on the beach. Ziauk, dude, how you doing, by the way, Ziauk? I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. I have made a Minesweeper game. Ugh. TJ streams, by the way. Yeah, extremely Ryan. Any plans on exploring Russ Guiz? No. Do you like Lord of the Rings? Yeah. Favorite character? Ooh, that's a good question. What is my favorite character of Lord of the Rings? Dude, in different Ghost. Okay, now this has been a moment since I've seen you as well. Impact.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Tom's a genius. Hey. Hey, Prime did 2 months, and thank you. Boop. Hey, thank you.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
What did Gollum say? What did Gollum say? Doing well? Working on... Oh, ooh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Salty. Favorite character... Favorite character is Sam. Oh my goodness, I love this part of this. I love this part. I love this part. This is new. Oh gosh, we're redoing it. It is new. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Yeah. Help! I love this song. I love this song. Hey, thank you very much.
Welcome
Integer
to Costco.
Division.
I love you.
Awesome. I won't use actual React. Don't worry. Is this a ghost stream? No, but I might be doing a lot of ghosts soon. Trailer Park Boys, you think so? Okay. Hey, TD, thank you very much. T-Dog, thank you for the tier 1. David Docs, let's go. Angelos, thank you for the $1.27.
Welcome to Costco.
Ariel Cloud, thank you very much. You. And Sost. Thank you. Prime Pants. Outlined. Looked. Wait, where are you going? Suspiciously Gen Z? No. Don't worry. They're not tight. I got like room. They're just regular stretchable
Welcome
pants.
To Costco.
I'm just a normal, non-skinny jean wearing pant person. You know what I mean? Fiati, breathable, stretchy, breathable jean fabric.
I love you.
The name is the Panthogen. Normal Mr. Robot impersonation. I know. I'm heavy. Hey, thank you, Dig More. Dig More. Let's go. Why are the lights off for a second, Karen? What is going on? Are we having a problem, Karen, at the startup? Is there some problem? Is there some problems? Do I need to hire Digmore to figure this out? Because I will. Deal. Intern. Extended Digmore. 1 month. See, what the hell? What is that? What? Oh my goodness. I updated OBS. Stretchable. You mean a female pants from a Hollister? I mean, maybe. Uh-oh, my beautiful wife is calling me. Hello, beautiful wife. This is your husband, Michael. I am. You did what?
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
I assume you're fairly frustrated also? Okay. Yeah, I know. I know. This happened before with the paint. All right. I'm sorry. Love you. It's not a problem. My son may or may not have ruined the paint on our car. So, he has impulse control issues. Whoa, look at this guy. My wife cuts my hair, and she accidentally just forgot this piece, and so it's just like I just have extra hair for this cycle of having hair. I don't know what full-time streaming would earn me. I have no idea. Hello, Prime. I just want to say that you are my inspiration. Well, thank you.
Welcome to
hello, first time on your live. Thank you. No, hey, no problem. Virulent. Thank you. Dyed a bit blue. So how many sons do you have? I have 2 sons, 2 daughters. Blue hair win. We're still working on this whole thing. Full-time ADHD. Let's go. $1.69. Pound means. Thank you. 4th stage of childhood development. Ruining the finish on things. It is, dude. It is so annoying. Time to promote your kid to junior dev. You gotta pay for that car paint, dude. I know. What about the 856 kids in Twitch chat? Yeah, they're not my kids. Hashtag not my problem, not my kids. You know what I'm saying? Impulse control problems are very frustrating because obviously love my kids. But it's just like there's simple ways not to ruin someone's life, and you should just not ruin someone's stuff. You know what I mean? Easy as this. Hey, Prime, you motivated me to learn Rust, and I made 3 OSS PRs within a week. Nice. Well done. We are not family, you meant to say. We're just not family, And now you're evading your responsibility with Twitch chat? Okay, calm down. I was that kid. They'll grow out of it. I know, I was that kid too. Well, I didn't ruin as many things. Prime, what's the common front-end options to be used the most in back-end lanes? I don't even know what you're trying to ask me there, to tell you the truth. Hello from Paris? Well, hello. Where's YouTube? YouTube? I don't know where they're at. Did you, let's see, did you know? Didn't you know? I didn't know you also streamed on Twitch. Hell yeah, girl. All my videos are on Twitch. Let's see, PrimeagenSocials ruining stuff is the gateway to learning how to fix stuff. Is it? Hey, what's the agenda for the stream today? Today, we got some things I want to look at. I am so sad that I read this, and then the music ruined the track. I'm still, like, just completely bummed right now about that. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I actually ruined a lot of the content for my side channel.
Welcome to Costco.
So today,
I love you.
We gotta do some readings. Don't try that with me. Is Vim a gateway drug? Absolutely. Speed read without sound? Absolutely. Opinions on Red Hat? None. None at all. React Andy. Yeah, I mean, there's some good stuff out there. Have you tried Zeditor? No, but it's for Mac OS. What do you want me to do? What do you want? What do you want from that? You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that I can do if it's just like, hey, this is for Mac OS. You're like, cool. Thank you, I think. We need to switch from Arch to Mac. I was a little, let's see. My sister carved my name in my parents' waterbed frame. She grew up to be a carpenter. If you had to use JS Meta Framework, J Diesel, clearly. Not Tune. Thank you very much, Not Tune.
I love you.
Thank you. How far up north are we walking around, let's see, in a hoodie in the end of July? I'm about to peel my skin off. Oh, no, we're fine. More O-Camel today? No, O-Camel. Thursday, Friday, O-Camel days. We're going hard. I want to, at least. And the only way to go hard then is this infected mushrooms? Absolutely. Is that we need to do the prime react. Thanks for Vim, be good. Just using, yeah, it was meant to give you the basic, the basic ability to do stuff. I broke so many computers growing up, yeah. Nice. Make your own Next.js. XML is the future. I actually wanted to read this real bad. I really wanted to read this. Because this sounds like there's no way this is, dude, I know. So when I see this, I'm like, no, this cannot be real. This cannot be real. I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I thought it was, yeah, I know. I know. That's what they're saying. Extensible. I know. Nobody has time for Python. That's the person's name. Nobody has time for Python. Okay, this is so good. If you're using a Lumiere Pro to stream, check this out. Literally, you need no PCOM, no nothing. This removes screen tearing from on the driver level. Maybe I'll look at that at some point. If I just use what's it called? If I just use Pop OS, no screen tearing. But i3 screen tearing. Oh my Mindy, type safe. What? XML is the future. My first hype. XML for everything. Yeah. The use Sway. I know. Use Sway is the answer. Sway is the answer. I just don't want to deal with using Sway. Spine Win, thank you for the 2 months. Binary JSON, great. Binary JSON. There is no such thing as binary. All JSON is binary. You know that? Did you know that? Like, go ahead, put your thinking caps on. You'll know right away. Tom is a genius. And Tom is an actual genius. By the way, again, remember, Friday, YouTube exclusive stream one more time. Bison spec. Bison is just stupid JSON. Bison is web scale, bruh. No, it's not. JSON is not web scale. Okay. Damn i3. I know. JSON, the JSON G. No, it's either JSON or JSOF. That's right. This is the JSON encode equals binary as JSON. I get it. Trust me. I know what I know what it does. JSON is kind of dog shit sometimes, though. Not gonna lie. Yeah, just use protobufs. Protobufs are great because it also doesn't tie. You don't have to have a JavaScript, a simplified JavaScript parser put into your language. You can just use protobufs. Protobufs are great. Protobufs are really easy. Music Freak, thank you very much. Greetings from Germany.
I love you.
Nah, use S expressions. You can S express yourself. You can sexpression all you want. Man, protobuf is right now my absolute nightmare. There's some things I don't like about protobufs. Tooling is painful in larger code bases. See, I find the opposite. I think it's great between languages. Yeah, you can send protobufs down as JSON, right? So it can just have JSON underneath the hood. So you're just like looking at JSON messages. Gotta say, I was pretty against protobuf, but now I have to agree with MQTT. They are even better. Yeah, I think they're not bad. Less JSON, more XML. Let's find out. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna do this. Just because I don't want to lose anything, I am gonna turn off the music, and because I'm just so freaked out, I'm gonna lose something. Okay, and I don't want to lose anything. Okay, I'm freaked out. You realize what happened to me? I lost stuff. Okay, we're gonna turn this off. We're gonna stop notifications. Let's go. Great call. And here we go. XML is the future. Now, this is strange to me because guess what? XML was the past. I remember when I was a youngster, a young individual. XML versus JSON, some sort of paper, academic paper. I'm sure you can find it. Look at that. That's I wrote this paper right there. Boom. Shazam. So I always thought XML was the past, but it turns out XML might actually be the future. So let's find out right now. Summary. My first hype exposure was use the extensible markup language for everything. Learning from it allowed me to live through the front-end stack explosion, the microservice overdose, and many, many more silly trends. Man, wait till I hear about React. It turns out Grandma was right. Eat vegetables, exercise, sleep well. This is great advice right here. And use the right tool for the right job. Well, she didn't say the last one, but she could have. Well done, Grandma. Well done. I appreciate that. Hype cycles. When I started programming, XML was going to replace everything. HTML was XHTML. Validation with DTD. I don't remember all this crap, but I know that there was things like that. Transformation and presentation with XSLT. Communication with SOAP. I remember when SOAP, I somehow dodged the SOAP bullet. I don't know how I dodged it. I think the moment I started thinking more and more about login and all that was just at the very beginning of OAuth. And so I was using OAuth, I was using Yahoo Mail as a login. and I just missed the whole soap movement. And my goodness gracious, have I ever been happy I missed that one. Because I had a lot of friends all working, and they're all using soap, and it looked awful. It seems so bad. I missed the train on the OOP hype. Oh, I didn't. Dude, I was a clean coder at one point. I had abstract base factories. I knew all the design patterns, decorators. Dude, I was great. That was the generation before me. Okay, stop calling me old. But I have read so many articles warning me about it that I applied the reasoning to XML. Oh, that's good. That's solid. Let's wait and see if it actually as good as they... Oh, my goodness. Let's wait and see if this is actually as good as they say before investing everything into it. Okay, hold on. This is 2023. No one said XML has been good in what appears to be years, so I'm a little bit curious what he means by this. Turns out XML was not the future. It was mostly technical debt. Okay, good. Okay. It was useful for things like documents. I believe the most successful use of it are still MS Office and LibreOffice formats. They are just zips of XML. Okay. I was lucky to learn this lesson very early in my career. There is no silver bullet. Any single tool, no matter how good it is, must be evaluated from the engineering point of view of pros and cons, and there's also Rust, which is perfect in all situations. Everything has a cost and implies compromise. It's a matter of ROI, radio over internet, which is hard to evaluate without experience. This is actually a really amazing paragraph, by the way. This is very, very true, and I think that we've kind of gone in the opposite direction in some sense. Like, for those that aren't a part of the JavaScript world, is that at some point, people were really skeptical about JavaScript, right? We're like, oh, it's a pretty bad language. We're not too sure about it. And now we've kind of entered a day and age where it's just like, you're not using TypeScript. You're just using the wrong thing. That's the wrong tool for the job. The only tool is TypeScript. And, right now, me and some of my coworkers, we're struggling because one of the many problems is that I can't even get these protobuf definitions to come down because you can't have safe integers within 2 to the 53, right? And so it's like you can't have nanoseconds. And so that just completely destroys some of the timings in which we're trying to send via protobufs. And it's just like you run into problem after problem, ESM, all these things. Holy cow. It's not always the right tool, though I do think it can be the right tool. You know what I mean? It can be. Just not always. Stop making it always. Bottom line, time is once again the great equalizer. There is no substitute to observe how a complex system evolves, no matter your model of the world. But above all, I learned that geeks think they are rational beings while they are completely influenced by buzz, marketing, and their emotions, and Twitter influencers. Even more so than the average person, because they believe they are less susceptible to it than normies. And so they have a blind spot. This is actually really good. This is amazing. Hold on. Okay, just let a man continue reading. This is beautiful. You need to eat more. You need to eat more protein to get proto buffed. Thanks for the contribution to this article, and I appreciate this. But truly, this is actually a really good observation, which is if you don't think that you're susceptible to having dumb reasoning, then you're gonna have dumb reasoning. And so it begins. XML was just the beginning of many, many waves of hype. When MongoDB came around, its web scale, suddenly you had to use no squeal for everything. Didn't matter that there was absolutely no relation between two no-squeal systems. It's like labeling a country as doesn't speak English. It doesn't matter MongoDB was a terrible product at the time that was destroying your data. They fixed that. It's now a good DB to have in your toolbox. Didn't matter that most people using it didn't need free replication because their data could fit in SquealLite file. This is good. So we watched beginners put their data with no schema, no consistency, and broken validation in big bag of blobs. The project began failing in large numbers. I've experienced it. In fact, right now, Netflix, we're experiencing a little bit of a little MongoDB squeal issue right now, in fact. We're kind of replacing the tires while driving the car right now. Then the Node era arrived. Oh my goodness, this is so good. Isomorphic JavaScript. This has been the bane of so many engineering hours. The amount of time that has been spent for isomorphic JavaScript, which, by the way, I hate that term in general, was all the rage. Gosh, so much. You know how many is nodes is web, window, type of window equals undefined. You know how much crap exists because of that one, because of this concept. Whoopsies. I didn't mean to do that. Prototype. Oh, I hate oh my goodness. I accidentally clicked that and it's disgusting. Dude, stop. I'm clicking things. I can't stop. There's too many links. Stop it. Was all the rage. And you had to use the same language in the front end and the back end and make everything async, but JS sucked. So most JS projects were created to avoid writing ES5. I mean, no import, no namespace, terrible scoping, schizophrenic this, prototype-based inheritance, weak types. Come on. So we got CoffeeScript. I hated CoffeeScript. I still, to this day, remember the feeling I had when I was using Atom, the first hackable editor. Kind of excited that, hey, I'll try hacking on this. And I opened up my first project to discover it was CoffeeScript. And I thought, wow, that's strange. CoffeeScript. That has to be a peculiarity. Opened up the next project. CoffeeScript. Huh. What are the chances that 2 plugins I looked at used CoffeeScript? Okay, whatever. Opened up a third one. CoffeeScript. And then it dawned on me. Adam is just one big-ass CoffeeScript lover. And it was true. They loved CoffeeScript. They used CoffeeScript for everything. And it just, I cannot even believe it. Then Babel, Webpack, TypeScript, React, plus JS, etc. We were told to stay on top of the most modern ecosystem. And by that, I mean dealing with compatibility being broken every 2 months. That's the price of cutting edge, tree shaking transpilation. Love this. I love that statement so much. That and the left pad, a way of life you couldn't debug because the map files were generated wrong. Oh, wait till they see about implicit returns and how those map files get generated. Beautiful. I love reading code where it's just massive pojos for every single return statement ever inside your declaration file. I love that because I would hate to have to read a named return type. Instead, I'd rather just see giant swaths of just properties all thrown in there. Because to me, that's where the real magic happens. You know what I mean? At this point, everything needed to be a single-page application with client-side routing, immutable data structures, and some kind of store. That is, if you could choose between Flux, Redux, Alt, Reflux, Flumux, Fluxible, Fluxor, Marty.js. By the way, this sounds like the interview with the senior JavaScript engineer, right? But this actually just might be. I didn't realize that Flumux and Fluxible and Fluxor were real things. I thought it was a joke in that thing, but it turns out it might not be. Marty.js, Finks, MacFly, DeLorean.js, Fluxify, Fluxery, XM, Fluxstore, Redx, Flux. No, I'm not making that up. No. No, this can't be real. Marty, McFly, DeLorean. That cannot be real. What about Ken? What's Ken Wheeler doing? Ken, what do you want, Ken? Is that Ken Wheeler's doing? Yo, that's Ken. Was that Ken Wheeler? Oh, was that Ken Wheeler this whole time? Well, that's not Ken Wheeler. Which one's Ken Wheeler? Oh, he's in here somewhere. Oh, Ken Wheeler, McFly is by Ken Wheeler. Let's go, Ken Wheeler. That's pretty beautiful. I'm happy that happened. All right. Let's see. But because you still had to pass a lot of data through the wire, and since everything had to be on the client, GraphQL was born. Well, I mean, technically, Falcor and GraphQL were talking about various strategies. Okay. Of course, all that stuff had terrible accessibility. SEO was first rendering time issues, leading to the rise of server-side rendering, aka CGI with extra steps. Oh my goodness, I love it. This couldn't stop there, and so community added hydration on top of that. This turned out to be an immense addition in complexity and created tons and tons of disposable code base, leading to you get it, failed projects, and waste of money. Because, of course, most of those tasks could have been done with Ruby on Rails, Symfony, Django, and a pinch of jQuery. At least they would have been finished with these boring texts. Instead, dead projects began to accumulate, and for one Figma shining, you had a trail of hidden bodies behind corporate walls nobody dared to talk about. I just love, I mean, don't get me wrong. I remember the jQuery days. It was not great, okay? Docker is incredible. Where we've gotten to is definitely different. But man, I remember the days of just jQuery and stuff, and it, like, you created pretty big websites off of just, like, really simple stuff. And there wasn't, like, a lot of JavaScript. I mean, all the things that I created back in the day were all like single-page applications, not using like a ton of stuff. Don't talk about Knockout.js, Moo tools. Oh, yeah. Oof. This is pretty funny. It was a taboo to speak about this madness. You were the one not getting it. It's a revolution. You think people drowning while they try to produce basic CRUD apps would have been a red flag. Instead, it inspired teams everywhere in the world to make things harder on themselves. First, the everything should be a microservice crowd started to take over. Every single small website had Docker container for the REST-ish API, plus one for the front end, plus one for the database, indirection layers on top of indirection layers. To communicate between all that, why not add a little message queue, 0MQ, RabbitMQ, and a good exchange format like gRPC with protobuf. Let's go. Believe it or not, it became very hard to make your to-do list app work with all of those. And so solution was found. Adding orchestration, Docker Swarm, and now Kubernetes. This is actually really funny. Like, there is something really true in all this. Whether or not it's actually like, you know, I don't know if I want to return to Monkey, but I don't think that this is wrong either. You know what I mean? Like when I see server-side React components and just like that whole thing going on, it just makes me go, you know, did we jump the shark? Is everything now just downhill forever? Because we're just choosing the constant intensity of just like a bajillion dependencies and an intense amount of foreknowledge. Like, the hard part is that people who've been in the industry for a long time, this makes sense because you've watched it grow over time. But those that haven't been in the industry, they have to learn like 15, 20 different types of libraries to understand it in general, which is really kind of wild. This does remind me of Warren Buffering's tweet. If you haven't seen this one, it was a pretty good one. Let's go in here and let's go Warren Buffering. Where is it? Where's your beautiful one? This one right here, which is just like, there's a lot. We have a lot of configuration. There's a lot of underlying things that are happening here just to like progress forward. Are we actually doing the right thing here? I don't know. It's such kind of a challenge, you know? I don't know if I want Monkey, but maybe I do. I think HTMX is really, really interesting. You know what I mean? HTMX is really, really, really interesting. At this time, so much time and money were obliterated, the cloud felt like a savior. They will do all that for you for a fee. You just have to learn an entire way of doing things, debug their black box, be locked into their ecosystem, and carefully optimize and configure using state-of-the-art templated YAML files and hostile UIs. Your entire project, so that you could only spend 10 times more on hosting and not 10,000 times by mistake. That's funny. Easy. Stab at serverless. Second, big data arrived. You had to store every single click of your user, A/B test everything as well, so that you consistently annoy 10% of your customers and make support unbearable. Now the data you had was gigantic, and if it was not, you had to believe it, and you needed some kind of Dynamo data lake, or maybe a time series DB, or a graph one. You needed something, that's for sure. We have we have a lot at Netflix. By the way, we're going to Netflix, by the way. Third of all, your stuff was now getting very slow. It was not because of the terrible technical decisions leading to use Google-level industrial architecture for your 100 requests per second website. No, it was because you used a slow language. Let's rewrite everything and go. Or Rust. The compilation step is not going to have any impact on feedback loop anyways, since our CI pipeline already takes 73 minutes. Let's go! That was the last straw. So out of the tiredness, devs went back to the simple ways. Just kidding. They went to flock to serverless lambdas and SaaS services you call from the edge, because not owning your stack is the future. Building products you don't need. Meanwhile, the blog posts about burnout were increasing tenfold. Somewhere at the top, leaders heard the call of money. You can't grow without making everything social. Gamify, gamify, gamify. Blockchain will change the universe. You need AMP website. Your stuff is not competitive without machine learning. If you live through all of those, you'll know what remains about it. Almost nothing. A few share buttons and a login with workflows. Some points and badges, graphs. Things either died or filled the niche they were good at, as they should. Some are replaced by the future of today. This is like fantastic. This article is really good. I am shocked. I like the new hype. Yagni is popular again. Projects like Vue, HTMX. Okay, first off, again, HTMX still won't follow me. Okay, what is this HTMX? Okay, I'm following you. We were both made in Montana. Oh, well, actually, I was made in Montana. You're just like a transplant coming in there claiming Montanian status. You know what? You're coming on prime time, and you're gonna defend your positions, HTMX. Okay? Arr! HTMX. Arr! Let's see. Alpine JS or just vanilla are just getting traction. There's even a talk coming back to using Postgres for most things. 37 Signals is on the spotlight once more because they left the cloud. That's DHH, everybody. He also thinks types are stupid. So, I mean, I don't know how much you could trust this guy. This guy's like, oh, yeah, this guy's the arbiter of truth, except for some of his ideas are just absolute horse shit, right? All right. It will, of course, be overdone because minimalism being hyped is still, well, hype. You do need the cloud, containers, NoSQL, Go, Rust, and JS build systems. Modern software requires customer expectations. Incredible new features are not to be ignored. Just not for everything. Nothing is ever needed for everything. I loved this article. Nobody has time for Python. Thank you. Thank you, nobody has time for Python. This was awesome. I'm very happy that the solution to all these problems is just rewrite it in OCaml. Because now, guess what? We finally can achieve the future we all wanted. OCaml and HTMX. Let's go. Let's go. Going back to monkey, people. It's going to be fantastic. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. The name is the MontanaGen. That was a good article. I agree. That was a great article. Just use HTML and C. I literally thought this article was going to be like actually suggesting XML. I had no idea how good this article was going to be. I am completely shocked by what just happened there. Man, you live in SD, let's see, out of here with that MT stuff. I lived in Montana for 27 years, okay? First 27 years of my life, 6 years in the Bay Area, 3 years in South Dakota, okay? I was disappointed by the lack of XML. Yeah, man got clickbaited hard. I loved it, though. I love that kind of clickbait. Oh, that is so good. You know what I mean? I love that. Hey, let's turn on alerts. Let's do another article, too.
Welcome to Costco.
Thank you. Critic, I appreciate that. Or Camel? Yeah.
Welcome
the
to
kind
Costco.
of clickbait we all want. Just join the stream.
You.
Looking forward to the VOD. Yeah. Don't worry. We'll get those out. We'll get those out. Okay, hey, thank you, Blue Eagle, for that brand new Twitch Prime. Okay, let's go. And Shader Kite, let's go. And Okeno Yap. I love yapping. Yapping is one of my favorite things to do in Vim, dude. I yap like wild. Look at that yap. 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 I yap it so good. Sometimes I vap it. Sometimes I vappy Y, right? I vappy. Sometimes I dap. Dude, dapping on the haters feels so good. Okay? Can we agree with that? 5 up, dap, boom, dap on the haters. Teach me yap, it's just yap, YAP. Dap and yap, man. Oh, feels so good. Mutex, use MS. No. I was showing things off. I was showing some ideas in Rust about how the borrow checker works. Stop, don't worry. You brought a tear to my eyes this morning. Dude, I'm sorry that I broke out crying on stream earlier this morning. I literally cried on stream. For those that missed it, it was on a different channel. I tried to describe my greatest fear and literally cried. It was hard. It was hard. I was right there with you, dude. It was so hard. Different channel. You updated your OnlyFans? Yeah, absolutely. All in wiener. Thank you very much. We all cried. We all cried. I know. It was good. Fears do be scary. Yeah, I know. Can we dab the yap? No, you dap the yap. Okay, you can yap, then you can dap. But if you dap, you've already yapped. But if you yap, you haven't dapped. You know what I mean? Tears make a great lubricant. Not sure what that means. What channel? Dax's channel. By the way, Prime, I watch the Prime Time videos just for laughs and giggles sometimes. It's really entertaining and informative at the same time. Hey, no problem. That's why we created this channel. I really want to see a reaction to JDH on YouTube. I'm not sure. Have you seen his OS from scratch yet? No, it's like hours long. Newbie here. What's with the welcome to Costco meme? I don't get it. That's sad. I'm sorry that you don't understand. I'm sorry that you don't understand that. Yeah, Simon, yeah. Bro, remember me? Of course I do. Thanks for the read. Back to some guy's DSA course. Shrug. Okay, nice. Was he describing using VS Code? Yes, absolutely. All right, you're not going to tell us the other channel? Dax's. Right? Isn't it this? Is that his channel, right? Dude, I can never spell his name, unfortunately. THDRX, right? No, that's not it. This ain't it. This ain't it. THDXR, dude. User, THDXR. Yeah, this channel. Yeah. Shout out THDXR. There you go. Go follow. Yeah, the Daxer. Yeah, nice. Let's see. He sponsored me on GitHub. Oh, that's nice. I agree. There you go. Shout out to that guy. It'll be a podcast at some point. I'm very excited about it. I binged your videos yesterday. Amazing content. Thank you. Serverless guy? Yeah, he's a serverless guy. The song is Infected Mushroom Special Place. It's a banger of a song. Looks like they want us to have a lot of infected mushrooms. The problem with infected mushrooms is that you love infected mushrooms until you hate infected mushrooms. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Have you ever loved infected mushrooms and then you keep on doing it and then you just start hating it? You know what I mean? Has that ever happened to you? It does happen to me. What does serverless mean? It means someone else's computer. Israeli boys go hard. Oh, yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. Primeagen, is there a way to enter a Vim command and see what it does? Yeah, you push in the Vim command and it'll show you what it does. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. Hold on. I've been having a couple work messages. Hey, Dial.
Welcome to Costco.
Thank you very much. I got to check some work messages. Hold on. Hold on. Yes, I've already watched the GitHub being nuked. I want to eat you to eat you. Wait, what? Can you cover data-oriented programming one of these days? I've never really done a lot with data-oriented programming. I don't know if I could. I think I'd like to do more of that. Can I yank to clipboard in NeoVim? Of course. I just have mine on leader Y. Right there. That leader Y will do a clipboard yank. So AP, I just yap. Now I can do Control V, right? Or I can do P, right? P, right? So I can go here and just go Control V. See? I copied Prime's neoconfig. Nice. Yeah, I want to do some stuff. I set up leader P for paste. Oh, interesting. This old banger feels relevant.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Way too many words here. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll send it to my friend. I'll send it to Cam. Hey, Pizza Laser. Thank you very much. I love the name still. Pizza Laser. It's great times. Yeah, Reddit is a better place to do that because then it's kind of like a place for me to vet your stuff, right? Gosh, why is it so zoomed in? Like, what am I at? Like 1,000%? All right, we're going to go like this. We're going to hide that. I actually wanted to see this. Why you should avoid linked lists, because this is like OCaml, right? So like Bjarne Strastrup is going directly against. You know what I mean? He's going directly against. By the way, I actually, like, no offense, I love breathing manually. I hate these questions. Real talk. Why this over that? 90% of what you use is because that's what you feel like you want to use, okay? And some people just want to continuously find the next thing, okay? And it's just annoying. I don't care, okay? I don't care. I don't care at all, okay? I just wanted a place where people could, like, post shit and I could easily organize it. It makes no sense why people get so like, yeah, well, what about this over that? And it's just like, dude, shut up. I don't care. Who the hell is Lemmy? Let's rename this to that in all programming languages. How about WASM, though? I do love WASM. WASM is great. My boy is live. Dude, I don't care about why your piece of software does something slightly different than another piece of software.
Algorithms.
All right, are you guys ready for this? I just heard the word algorithms. Are you guys ready for some algorithms? Look at this. Oh, yeah. Look at the quality on this video. Are you guys ready? Algorithms. Why work at Netflix and not Hulu? There you go. Now we're finally asking the real questions. Why work when you could not work on the working?
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Ass. Thank you, mod. Thank you, mod. Appreciate the that. All of that, mod. All right, here we go. Why should you avoid linked lists? Let's go. Okay.
Here I'd like to show an example that first was shown to me by John Bentley of Algorithms fame. Make a sequence of random integers, keeping them in order. And so you're given the numbers 5, 1, 4, 2, and it builds up the sequence as you see it there. And then you remove them again by giving a set of positions of which one you take out. And so the exercise is, for which n is it better to use a linked list than a vector?
Okay.
Or an array.
Okay.
And
so for those that don't understand, who here doesn't understand the question that was just proposed right here? Type 1 in the chat if you don't understand the question that was proposed. By the way, if you don't love 14p, type 1 in the chat. Okay, so it's actually a pretty simple question, right? Here, let's see if we can exit out of here. Let's go to the Excali draw. It's a very interesting question. So you could imagine that there exists a world in which there is some large space like this, in which you have a bunch of elements, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to whatever, right? All the way up to, I don't know, 69, 420. And then you have in another world something that looks like this. Where, hold on, let me get this thing and drop it all the way down to this. And you have 1. And 1, well, guess what? 1 points to 2, right? There you go. 1 points to 2, 2 points to 3. All right, so a linked list versus a contiguous memory region called an array, right? And so if you were to remove some random number from here, what has to happen? Well, for this to happen is that it has to take, say you remove 17. Well, 18 will have to shift down to where 17 was. 19 has to shift down to where 18 was. 20 has to shift down to where 19 was, etc., 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 all the way up to 69, 420. Whereas with a linked list, if you were to remove 2, well, we remove 2, and then we just adjust this nice little thing right here. Boom. There we go. It's constant operation, right? You do effectively, if it's a doubly linked list, you do like 4 operations on it and that's it. Whereas if you had a memory array, you'd have to do a lot of operations on it to get the same effect. So there you go. So that's the problem he's proposing. How big of N do you have to be where a linked list is faster than using an array? Oh, they would have known this if they watched your free algorithms course on Front-End Masters. You're right, free algorithms course on Front-End Masters, by the way, frontendmasters.com/trial. I get $0 if you sign up, never pay for anything, and just watch this. Go for it. Free algorithms course. It is like 11 hours long, okay? 9 hours and 21 minutes long of me just talking about algorithms. And we actually go over this exact problem even in there. Anyways, okay, so let's keep on going. Hey, baby girl. All right, let's keep going.
Everybody gets this one wrong. Here's...
Yep, let's go. Let's do this. I don't know how fast I want to do this because I don't want to make it hard to understand. He's struggling.
My graph has disappeared.
The man's struggling with presentations.
Okay. Okay. So, imagine this to be a graph.
Beautiful graph.
The imaginary low line down by the bottom showing efficient usage, little time, is the vector. The one that is looking like an exponential, trying to go through the ceiling, is the list. And trying to figure out why the list is so inefficient, I thought maybe it's all this allocation that's being done for the nodes. So the little middle green line, which you can't see either, is the lists with allocation taken out, totally pre-allocated. The point here is that the vector is always better than the list, and the list gets worse the further you go out. And this is for the case where you're doing a lot of insertions and deletions, which, when I was taught about data structures, was what you use lists for, because they're really good at inserting, deleting. If you want to insert in the middle of 100,000 integer vector, you have to shove, on average, 50,000 elements one position. If you take one out, you have to shove them roughly half the way back.
I was taught this exact same thing. Like, this seems very intuitive. This seems like the exact reason why one would use a linked list. I'm a little flabbergasted right now.
Now, this is completely irrelevant. What matters is the linear search to get to the insertion point. Of course, you have to go through half of the list to find the average insertion point for a list. And in an attempt to fairness, I also did the same for vectors instead of using a binary search. But anyway, so the linear search dominate completely. And linear search for vectors, it's not actually such a good idea. First of all, a vector is, for a list is much bigger for a given data structure than a vector, because you don't have to just store the element, the integer. You have to store the 2 pointers forward and backwards. You have to use a doubly linked list if you're inserting, otherwise you have extra problems.
That makes okay. So this already makes a lot of sense, because one thing that is unique about a vector is that it's contiguous memory, right? Whereas linked list is not a contiguous piece of memory, right? Each little node has been mallocked somewhere in the universe of space, and so you most certainly get like a lot of different, I can't believe this man made C++. You can't believe this man made C++. If I were to ask ChatGPT, what does someone look like who probably invented C++, I think they would create this, right? So you get this whole, you get something beautiful that happens with the vector that just can't happen with this. So that makes sense. And the second thing I guess I never really thought of in this problem is that to get to the node you wish to remove, you have to do a linear search every time.
And that completely dominates. So the graph here, this graph here that you can't see.
So I guess the only thing that would make sense is if you did head removal. Head removal and head addition probably definitely win in linked list at a pretty small number. But everything besides for that, any sort of manual looking through the list to get to a point, I guess this makes a lot more sense than I ever realized, because you have to follow so many gosh darn dang pointers just to get to that point.
shows you that there's not a minor disadvantage here. We're talking about things being 50 or 100 times slower with a linked list. And the traversal dominates. So compactness matters. Vectors are more compact than lists. And predictable usage patterns matters enormously. With a vector, you have to shove a lot of elements over, but caches are really, really good at that. So surprisingly, vectors are random access constructs, but you can stream them. Lists don't have random access, but when you traverse lists, you keep doing random access. There's a node here and goes to that node in memory.
Yeah.
So you're actually random accessing your memory, and you're maximizing your
unpredictability of it.
Cache misses,
yeah.
Which is exactly the opposite of what you want. So the lesson I'm trying to say here is stay compact, stay predictable, and you have 3 orders of magnitude of performance to deal with here, to gain by being compact.
You know, I have his book, I think, A Tour of C++. I actually think I can see it right now. And in there, he says, always use a vector unless if you can prove a map is faster. And I thought that was very interesting because it is better often to search position by position to get the thing you want than to perform some math calculation that offsets correctly into some larger memory region, which could follow a linked list or maybe some sort of vector or whatever it has underneath the hood to get to the point because of key collisions, right? And so it's kind of surprising that that is a real thing, and it's true. We did it with I did a video where using a map to do character lookup was slower than storing the characters in an array or even a vector. Even a vector in Rust was faster than using a map, which then an array was even faster.
Now,
Tour is awesome. Tour is good. True OO style. Look at that beauty. Look at that beauty.
And said, well, I don't use lists of 100,000 and 200,000 elements. And there's 2 kinds of people. There's a sort of the Google and Amazon people that says, because I don't have such little data.
By the way, this is this is just what JavaScript looks like. I mean, this is one of the reasons why JavaScript is super hard to make it fast. People always are like, well, JavaScript's only like 30% slower than C++ or whatever. It's like, no, it's 30% slower in these really trivial situations where you're doing math, because JavaScript is great at jitting. And if you just do math, of course it's great. But the moment you start really playing with memory, that's where everything just falls apart.
There's 2 kinds of people. There's a sort of the Google and Amazon people that says, because I don't have such little data structures. And then there's the students that think 1,000 elements is a long list. And so I don't use that many 100,000 lists, but using a few 100,000 element lists is exactly the same. As a matter of fact, you can get the performance effects out of individual data structures. So here's a very simple one up there, a vector of points with 4 points. And the way that'll be laid down in memory, if you use the standard, is up there labeled C++. You have a little handle. A lot of C++ is these little handles that tells you how to use things. And then the resource managed, which happens to be a compact data structure with 8 integers, because it's integer points. And that's fine. It's compact. You have a single dereference to get to it. You have a little bit of memory overhead because vector keeps its elements on the free store, so you get the extra word or 2 as a free store header. But that's the way it looks. It's fairly compact. If you don't want to put it on the free store, don't. But usually you can afford it.
Now, by the way, this is if you don't understand what's happening here, this is fantastic. This is really, 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 really good. I'm
told very often that I have to write in a truly object-oriented style. And there's languages that ensure you do that.
Yeah.
And in a truly object-oriented style, of course, an object is referred to by a reference. So you have a reference to the object. There's the object down there in the next line with a 4 with a count in it. And this happens to be a container of...
This is exactly what JavaScript does. I can even go over this here in just 1 second. This is exactly what JavaScript will do.
Of user-defined objects. So again, you have a container of references, and there you have the objects. So that turns the linear compact data structure into a linked structure. We just saw on this invisible slide what linked structures do to your performance. And here you get a rough doubling of the size of the data structure, and whenever you want to access an element, instead of getting one indirection, you get 1, 2, 3 indirections. And indirections, again, is things that modern computers don't like very much. Pointers are poison to most optimizers.
Interesting. Yeah, all those things, but it's so great how he says it. By the way, I released all these videos. Why are you showing me videos of mine? So what's really interesting, so like how that works is that you can imagine this. Like if you go over here to this, sorry, we did a bunch of showing someone how to copy and paste here, but you can imagine that if we went to something that was a little bit more TypeScripty, right? And you went in here and you jumped here. If I had something like a point, right? It doesn't matter, function, create, point. It doesn't matter if it's a class or not, return, x, y, right? X, y, right? Who cares, right? Here you go, boom. If you go const list equals this, and in here you have create point 42, 420, yank that, 69, 420, 420, 69, and let's go bam, 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 bam. Why not? Even though there's no rhyme or reason to any of these things I did. So there you go. So you have this nice point. What's actually happening here is this is created and stored somewhere in the garbage collection. Every single time. So each one of these points are stored just somewhere in the engine of JavaScript. It's not like you get this nice compact format where it is literally a space that holds a small amount of value. How you could recreate this, though, in JavaScript, you could imagine something more like this. Let's see. Const, compact would be a new array or new let's go, float 64 array, right? And you could imagine you could have something like 8. This, on the other hand, you have 8 positions, and you could actually have a function read a point, and you could have points, and you could have the offset, right? And this, on the other hand, could return, something, right? Create point. Why not? This is terrible, but you get the idea, right? There you go. You have something that holds all the memory. I know I'm creating the point again. Just let it go, right? And that actually gives you out the point right here. It's kind of interesting, right? You get this kind of, very different kind of views of the world, which is one, you store everything in a row. The other one, you just store them randomly throughout your program. Remember storing floats on the heap. Pepe laugh. Hey, buddy. I'm trying to help, okay? I'm trying to I'm trying to give you something so you understand it. Miss me with that heap shit. Some people don't realize there's a stack, okay? OCaml is now just like letting you have a stack, okay? Anyways, unbox types in OCaml. The name? It's ThePrimeagen. Oh, unbox types already exist. Well, okay then. 5.1 is a pointer in V8. I'm not sure what you're saying. Everything in JS is in the heap. Not fully true. SMEs aren't. SMEs, instead of a pointer in V8 is going to actually have the first bit be the type it is, and it can either be a heap pointer or a small integer. And so if it's a small integer, the remaining bits are actually going to be the int itself. Going over the algorithms class? Yeah. I made a Chrome extension for YouTube with 100K users. You might find a user. Can I post it here? What does this even mean? Why is it useful? Yeah, you can smeeze truth spoken. Anyways, I'm not even sure. I wonder why V8 doesn't do NAND packing. You can NAND pack me, daddy. What is more expensive? Linear memory assignation? Okay, get your asses out of here. Okay, we don't do that. Dopamine-driven development. Oh my goodness, what is this? What the hell is this thing? Dopamine-driven development? Okay, this seems exciting. Is this actually gonna be something good, or is it gonna be... Oh, look, I can't even do this. I can't even do this. I can't even look... Okay. It's impossible. See, this is the problem about Medium. Medium's trying to get you to, sign up all the time. I don't want to read some... Okay, this actually is a pretty exciting thing. Okay, I'll read this. I'm going to read this. Disable JS. Oh, that's all you gotta do? Just, yeah, I did see it pop up for a second. Oh my goodness, I forgot to put on alerts. Everybody plug your ears! Oh, Hexavagine coming in with the 25 bangers. Let's go. Thank you very, very much. Oh, I forgot to do the DHH article. We forgot to do the DHH article. Why we have left the cloud? Aren't you excited?
Welcome to Costco.
He left the cloud. Okay, I rephrase. What is more expensive, a memory linear allocation or memory random allocation? I would assume a memory random allocation, because linear allocation, you can just say, hey, give me a megabyte. Whereas random, you're like, give me a byte, 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 give me a byte. I would just assume that doing all at once is much better than doing little bits at a time. Because there's obviously like layers to caching, right? I like how people are linking me my own Reddit. New coding music? No, thank you. I wish DHH was more opinionated. I know, honestly. I do too. See, that's my whole problem with DHH, is honestly, he just doesn't even have an opinion. He just has no opinion. Isn't it annoying? This smells like Amazon don't know how to use AWS serverless. Bite me, daddy, I will. All right, I'm going to be right back. I got to go pee. Whoa, had to zip that up. Almost came right into stream with my pants down. How's the UPS guy doing today? Oh, don't worry. This time I instead peed in front of the babysitter. Sorry, we're talking about cows. We're talking about cows and the benefits of using NeoVim, and that there wasn't a babysitter. Does your pee area starting to get that pee area smell? No, I pee in different places all over the place. Baby, this is what we're doing. This is facts. Song name, it's that. New emote. TJ. Isn't this you, TJ? TJ, isn't that you? Help me, TJ. All right. I have read Nexel's blog post. The problem is that I read it yesterday. Hey, Real Talk, thank you, Hexavagine, again, for that. And SwiftDev, thank you for the resubscribe. I appreciate that. The Horsagen, hey, stop horsing around, buddy. All right, thank you, Hexavagine. I appreciate that. Okay, and viewer, thank you, viewer. Eat ass, as viewer said. Very inappropriate. Thank you. Hey, Melky, thank you, man. I appreciate your content. I've been in marketing I lost it for a while instead of coding. And watching you makes me feel less stiff with the coding. Thanks a lot. Hey, no problem. When I look up and songs are okay on YouTube, upload the clip in private and you'll see. I'm not even sure what that means, but okay. Hey, thank you, lady. I appreciate that. Thank you. The Art of Code by Dylan Beatty. No, for your VOD yesterday. Oh, watching PrimeageN makes me less stiff too. Wait, huh? Just look them up in private, okay? Let me look up your privates. Oh, Linder. Oh, Linder! You sound like you could almost be a sword. Thank you, Hermio, too. I appreciate the gift itself. Let's go, people. All right, are you guys ready for the next one? I'm ready for the next one, okay? Alerts are off. All right, alerts are off. Let's read DHH, okay? I get real flaccid. Okay, calm down. Why we left the cloud. Hey, thank you, Leonardo. I have something to say. Everybody, shut up! Bisco has something to say. Say it, Bisco. Say it to my face, Bisco. Say it. Say it, Bisco, right now. Bisco, say it. Say it! I'm not upset. And then he was like, "You suck." And do I suck, Karen? What? You're supposed to be on mic, Karen. What the I don't know why there's a black screen there, but hey, updated OBS, and now there's a black skin there. Nice little black screen. Hey, awesome. Thank you, OBS. All right, anyways, you are a type man. Thank you. All right, I'm going to keep on going. Why did we leave the effing... Where the hell is this thing? Come on, DHH. Speak to me, daddy. Why... Wait, we have left the cloud by DHH, the man with very little opinions. Since it took us years to get into the cloud in the first place, I originally imagined it would take us years to get out as well. But all that work to containerize our applications and prepare them for the cloud actually turned out to make it relatively easy to exit. And now, after 6 months of effort, it's done. We're out. The last application was brought home to our own hardware on Wednesday. Hallelujah. Wait, they're running their own stuff? Is that what we're reading here? Like literally like in-house servers? Wouldn't it be excessively easy to DDoS them then? Isn't that like part of the fun of not managing your own stuff is that you have Cloudflare don't get DDoSed? Okay. In those 6 months, we brought home 6 heritage services that we're no longer selling. What is that? What is a heritage service? But we have committed to supporting for existing customers and users until the end of the internet. Classic end of the internet. Base Camp Classic, High Rise, Right Board, Campfire, Backpack, and Tada list are all over a decade old, but continue to serve tens of thousands of people. There's dozens of us! And generate millions of dollars of revenue. Okay, that's pretty good. But now we'll be spending far less to operate them, and as a bonus to those users, provide a considerably faster experience due to the powerful new hardware. Okay. You know what would also be better? Stop writing Ruby. You know, just throwing that one out there. That might just provide a dramatically faster experience as well. But hey, but the big move was, hey, this is an application that was born in the cloud. We never run it on our own hardware before, and as a full-featured email service, it had a lot of moving parts. But the team pulled this off without a hitch by doing the move in several stages with different databases, cache servers, mail services, and app instances moving independently over the course of a few weeks. Our stack for bringing home all these applications is entirely open source. We use KVM to slice our new monster 192-thread Dell R765S into isolated VMs, then Docker to run the containerized applications, and finally manage remote server containers, spelt with a K, with Mursk, to do zero downtime app deploys and rollbacks. The setup helped us dodge the complexity of Kubernetes and avoid any sort of enterprise service contract entanglements. I wonder how much they're spending. I mean, real talk, I just have to think, when I hear the term tens of thousands of users, that's like 25,000 users. Okay? Because if you're above 50, you're going to say 50,000. If you're above 100, you're going to say hundreds of thousands. So I'm thinking like 25,000 users, okay? And so then I'm thinking 25,000 users. Why isn't that off of like 2 nano nodes and a database on Linode for like $40 a month? What's going on here? Why do you have this machine? What's this machine doing? How are you using all of that for that many people? Like, what the hell? I mean, I guess to be real, I don't know what Campfire, Backpack, Tadal, Right Board, High Rise, and Base Camp Classic do. Okay, I don't quite know. But I would like to say that it does something that seems like it does a lot of things that it doesn't necessarily need to do. Okay, Beastco, what the hell is it? Primeagen, but that's just their legacy users. But that's just for their legacy. I know it's for their legacy users, Teach. I'm on your team. I'm just saying, how does it take this much compute power to run some legacy users? What are they doing? What is this thing doing? What does Campfire do that it requires this? It just seems kind of wild to me that 25,000 people require that much. The back of the napkin math is that we'll save $1.5 million per year. What are you doing by owning our own hardware rather than renting it from Amazon? Remember, I mean, you pay a different cost though. The engineering is definitely different. I guess it depends on how many engineering hours are used, right? And crucially, we've been able to do this without changing the size of the operation team at all. Okay. Running our application, I mean, it would be better if you could downscale your operation team, right? Your operation teams didn't need as many people, then you'd really have a win here. Running our application is in the cloud. Let's see. In the cloud just never provided the promised productivity gains to do with any smaller of a team anyway. I'm curious about this because there's a lot of questions, because once you run your own stuff, you also run into the next problem, which is when you want to hire somebody, there's like a whole scale-up thing, right? And the whole scale-up thing is real. And then, there's going to be new tasks, because right now your hardware is fantastic. You're running off what appears to be a single machine. At some point, things start breaking, and you start having to hire people, and stuff goes wrong, and you start getting DDoSed, and just shit hits the fan. Like, that's real. That's a real problem. This is possible because of the way we operate our own hardware actually isn't too dissimilar to how people use rental clouds like AWS. We buy new hardware from Dell, have it shipped directly to 2 data centers we use, and ask the white glove service hands at Deft to rack the new machines. Okay, then we see the new IP addresses pop up online and immediately put them to work with KVM, Docker, and Mursk. Okay, I mean, interesting. Yeah, hopefully they have a lot of, backup and all that good stuff. The main difference here is that the lag time between needing new services and seeing them online. Yes, it is truly incredible that you can spin up 100 powerful machines in the cloud in just a few minutes, but you also pay dearly for this privilege. And we just don't have an unpredictable business as to warrant the premium. Given how much money we're saving owning our own hardware, we can afford to dramatically over-provision our server needs. And then when we need more, it will still only take a couple of weeks to show up. It's funny, they used a very hilarious term right here, which is the word need. Typically, the word need implies that you need it now. And then the word a couple of weeks to show up. I mean, it's just kind of a funny phrase. Like, we need it! When do we need it? In a couple of weeks! I hope you're very good at being ahead of the schedule. Look at it this way. We spent about $500,000 buying 2 pallets of servers from Dell, which are a combined 4,000 vCPUs and a butt-ass amount of gigabytes of RAM and a whole bunch of storage to our server capacity. Okay, I mean, that's a lot. This hardware is more than adequate to run all the heritage services we brought home. Yep, together with hay, and give our base camp operations a hardware refresh. It was less than a third the cost of what we predicted we'll be saving every year. This hardware will be amortizing over 5 years. I mean, I totally get this argument. I'm on this team in some sense that there is a lot of value. You're just not paying for someone else's infrastructure. It's not like Amazon's easy. It's not like you just press a button and your application works. You still have to do all the infrastructuring. And when you do all the infrastructuring, it's not impossible to imagine that you've built it so that it's going to work without Amazon as well at this point. But at the exact same time, there's a lot of headaches. I guess Deft must make it a lot easier. I don't know anything about Deft, but okay, that's it. I mean, it's easy. It sounds neat that they have like a in-between hosting network, right? It's like host your own hardware, but you don't actually host your own hardware, and hey, we're hooked into the backbone. I mean, that's cool. No wonder that sharing our experience with the cloud exit has made a lot of companies think twice about the insane cloud rental bills they're incurring every month. Our collective cloud budget last year was $3.2 million, and this was incredibly optimized with long service commitments, scrupulous right sizing, and monitoring. They also use Ruby. So again, incredibly optimized, and Ruby. You know what I mean? Can we at least agree to that? Like, maybe it's not incredibly optimized. Maybe it's well optimized. Maybe it is incredibly optimized for Ruby. Totally buy that argument. Just without any specification, this seems kind of, I don't even believe it. DB is the bottleneck? Well, then if DB is the bottleneck, also very interesting. I wonder, what are they doing with the replications? Why is DB the bottleneck? Very curious. Hey, it was less than a third of the cost. Oh, yeah, we already read that. Blah, 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 blah. Our collective cloud budget was $3.2 million. We're incredibly optimized. Blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of companies paying many times what we did for even less benefit. The potential savings are as large as the AWS quarterly results are staggering. AWS generated over $5 billion in profits for Amazon in just 2022 Q4. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. They offer a whole bunch of tools, instant scaling, and a whole bunch of benefits that are impossible to get doing it yourself, right? So, I mean, that's why they make money. I get that. As I've mentioned before, I still think the cloud has a place for companies early enough in their life cycle that the spend is either immaterial or the risk that they won't be around in 24 months is high. Just be careful you don't look at those lavish cloud credits as a gift. It's a hook, and if you tie yourself too much to their proprietary management services or serverless offerings, you'll find it very difficult to escape once the bills start going to the moon. I agree with this take. It's one of my big hesitancies about serverless, which is that once you're serverless, it can be tricky, right? You've built an application. It's why I'm a bit hesitant about companies who build themselves, like when you build a product around a company and what they have to offer. There is danger in that. Now, it depends on the product. If if it's a very simple product that has you have a one-dimensional product that's offering a single thing to users, I can understand why you do that. Hey, it's easy. We know we're not going to overspend. That's just that. But as it grows, things can be kind of tricky if you don't have a single, Netflix would be impossible to do that. That's why cloud agnostic options like OpenFaaS exist. Yeah, I can see that. Is Netflix serverless? Netflix is not serverless. Yeah, this is obviously different than Theo's stream. Theo has much different opinions than me, but that's okay. That's the good part about being on the internet, is that you should most certainly listen to a bunch of different people's opinions. Even though I think this guy is a dummy, it doesn't matter. I can read what he has to say, and there's other things that I can even agree with what he's saying. I don't think what he's saying is bad. I just think that it also can be very tricky, and it's not something, and I think he does a great job right here. Like, hey, if it's a new company, maybe you shouldn't worry about that part because you haven't grown to the point where you can actually go and get enough engineers to really consider this option. You know what I mean? And so, all right. I also think that there are probably some companies that have such high variance in their loads that renting makes sense. If you only need to plow thrice a year, love it. It doesn't make sense to keep the barn unused for the remaining 363 days. Yes. I don't think that's how barns and plowing works. Real talk, plowing, you don't get something to put in your barn after you plow, okay? Plowing is what you do before you put the stuff. then you grow the stuff, and then you harvest the stuff, and you put it in a barn, and then it's this. I mean, it's a little different. Plowing is important, but plowing is not quite the right term here. But most established companies can amortize capital investments. You plow the barn, baby. You take that pound truck to Plowtown. Let's see. But most established companies can amortize capital investments over a few years, should seriously reconsider the cloud craze. The benefits have vastly overstated. The cloud is often just as complicated as running things yourself and is usually ridiculously more expensive. That I cannot qualify either direction, right? So that's the thing I don't know. I don't know what Deft is like when you're not a bigger company. What is that like? What are you going to get out of using Deft? What's their uptime? Do they have potential risks? At least the risks going into, say, AWS versus something else, right? So, I don't know. But I'm also not against what he is saying. So if the money matters, and when it does not, and when does it not? Agreed. I urge you to do your own math. Consider whether you have the services that really benefit from constantly scaling the capacity up and down. Then have a serious look at what your own cloud exit could look like. We pulled out 7 applications in 6 months. You can do it too. The tools are there. They're free. So don't just say in the cloud because of hype. Okay, it's actually not the worst article. I actually came into this thinking this was going to be a terrible article, just because I think I have, there's this whole thing about communication I just got done watching, which is like your view of a person can change how you interact with them. So imagine this situation that your wife, whoever, walks in and slams the door because a breeze came in and accidentally slammed the door for her. Now, if you have a really positive view of that person, you're going to be like, oh, what happened? But if you have a really negative view of the person, you're going to be like, don't slam the door. Why are you slamming the door, right? And so you can hear and read what people say, and your reaction to what they have to say completely change how you feel about it, even if it's true or false, right? So we're gonna give him a semi-W. I'll give him a semi-W, a half W. Okay, I'm gonna give him a V. We're giving him a V. Can we get V's in the chat for DHH? We'll give him a V. I'm not willing to give him a full W yet, but we'll give him a V. Okay, can we do a V? Can we do some V's in chat? It's a half dub. Okay, it's a half dub. I'll give you a half dub because I don't think you're wrong, but I also am not sure if you're right. The article is a big W. I'm not sure if it's a big W, but it's certainly really good to think about these things. And I think people don't necessarily, no, V's not for victory. It's for half a W, okay? That's why it's called W. It stands for 2 V's. Duh. And did you know in French, if I'm not mistaken, it's W versus V? V being, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yes, I actually did want to read this one as well, right? Right? I think there is a use case for on-prem, but 15K users doesn't seem like that. Yes, I agree. I agree with this too, right? What is the use case? How big does your place have to be? Where does it make sense? I don't know. You know what I mean? Co-location is hard as well. Yes, very, very true. This is very, very true. Yes. And so that's another really good point, which is what happens if you need a bunch of different locations throughout the world? It's very hard to self-host everywhere around the world. Very, very hard. The name is, I'm not sure what the exact answer should be, but you should be able to individually compare it for yourself and make sure that you have enough users and spend to be able to try out each thing's a gen. You know what I mean? No, I think you do, you dirty dog. All right. Hey, someone used my own meme for a video. Damn, that sounds like an insurance guy speaking at the end. Yeah. Let's see. Still on the fence if this guy rip a chainsaw or not. TLDR, know what you're solving for before you look to solve it. Hey, Judo, what do you think about that? So Judo's probably, for me, Judo's probably the best person to give some sort of counter/viewpoint on this. Judo, can you give us a quick little type on what do you think about it? Okay, stop. Okay, just because I happen to throw an essay for my name. Okay? Look at this. I can't believe 3 independent... Let's see. When can Judo come on and read articles so we can hear some actually informed opinions? Well, as you saw earlier when Theo was mentioned, people think I'm a dum-dum. That's okay. You can think I'm a dum-dum. You actually don't have to listen to me. Banned. There's a guy on YouTube. Of course I use Tmux. Who cares about that guy? I think the cloud is useful as a service to defer your problems to others. But you need to be able to switch who those people are. Fair. I think that's fair. I actually think that is, I think that's actually pretty, I think that's pretty fair. Interesting. Uber in the cloud? We are paying primes to listen to you, in fact. Yeah. Yeah. Prime, what do you know? I don't know anything, big fat banana. Okay, I'm just a dum-dum. You know, it's not like I have an incredible amount of experience writing tools and meeting people's needs. It was good seeing your React content for an hour or two. Dumpster fire. Thank you, Indifferent Ghost. Appreciate that. Netflix, by the way. Prime, have you ever built a startup when you were between jobs? Yeah. Meet my needs, Daddy. I will. Also, great Kubernetes admins. Most cloud stuff, just saying. Okay. Last try. Please test the new version of Fresh Framework for Dino. No. I like you and Theo, but you two have really strong opinions that cannot show or say in my work. I don't think I have nearly as strong of opinions. I just read an article where I was like, yeah, you could do it or you could do it. I see why you would and why you wouldn't. I think React is bad, but you got to use React from time to time. I don't think I have very strong opinions. I think my opinions are fairly mild. You are not dumb. You're a kind of mentor. Oh, thank you. Yeah, go self-host when you scale, and then you have another huge scale even when you're scrambling for procurement. No thanks. Yeah, I know. See, that's my whole worry is this right here, which is just like, when does it start costing? Like, how does it work? Also, to whoever asked, I will not read things on Prime Stream. I am insulted that you think I read things. Thank you, Judo. I read to you. What's wrong with React besides the bloat? Well, bloat's a big problem, but not only that, it's just that I think it's the wrong paradigm. I think that it's just simply easier to reason about an application when you have points of reactivity. So Solid.js. I just think it's better. I like JSX. I think JSX is a fairly reasonable abstraction for communicating with the DOM. I think your opinion are hot takes for the new generation of programmers. The JS lovers, a D. Yeah, same. You don't have to explain yourself. I just explained myself. React induces nausea. Mild opinions. JavaScript is the best. Svelte is cool. Yeah, I think Svelte's pretty cool. So I like Svelte. Svelte has a really unique thing. I could also get behind Svelte. Wow. Are you a millennial? I am. Did you check your Maersk thing? He has built this? No, I haven't. I like JSX and the React ecosystem. Really, you like the ecosystem? I think the ecosystem is kind of wow. I think most of JavaScript is like at best a mid ecosystem and at worst just horrible. Vue and Svelte have it right. I can also be behind that too. What do you think about learning Golang? I think Golang is great. I'm actually going to have to rewrite my application here today or tomorrow in Golang. So guess what? Anyways, just because it's like impossible to use with other services because of just like the exceptionally annoying stuff. Yeah, but many other languages have packages for left bad. Oh yes, NPM ecosystem, yeah. As someone new to JavaScript ecosystem, I feel like I'm sailing on the Titanic. Like in the fun parts or the bad parts? Are you going to invite your boyfriend T-John today? Nah. Yeah, Golang could do that. Browser DOM should have had GTK-ish WASM wrappers. Yeah. I'm, let's see, heck no. One stream a week is enough Prime for me. Yeah, that's right, baby. All right, so let's do this. All right. I wanted to see this because this is actually kind of interesting. So we're going to do this. We're going to do one more thing. Let's see. Rust is not a good C replacement. There you go. Let's start this. Rust is not a good C replacement. All right, Drew, why don't you tell us? I have a saying that summarizes my opinion of Rust compared to Go. Go is the result of C programmers designing a new programming language, and Rust is the result of C++ programmers designing a new programming language. Okay, I agree with that. This isn't just a metaphor. Go was designed by Plan 9 alumni, an operating system written in C and the source of inspiration for many Go's features. And Rust was designed by folks at Mozilla, whose flagship product is one of the largest C++ code bases in the world. Okay, yeah. The values of good C++ programmers are incompatible with the values of good C programmers. Interesting. Rust is a decent C++ replacement if you have the same goals as C++, but if you don't, the design has a very similar drawbacks. Both Rust and C++ are what I like to call kitchen sink programming languages, with the obvious implications. These languages solve problems by adding more language features. A language like C solves problems by writing more C code. I like that take. I really like that take. Kitchen and sink are both keywords also. No, but real talk, this is actually a really interesting take because I think that's one of Go's big reason why people get upset at Go is that it doesn't like add more features. Why aren't you doing this? Why haven't you added this? Why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done this? But instead, they do very little. And in some sense, it keeps the language very simple. And so to solve a problem, you just write more Go. Is that bad? I don't know. I don't know if that's bad or good. I can't, because the hard part about if anyone who's ever been in a part of like a really large, really complex C++ code base knows for a fact that language features don't make it easier. They don't. They don't make things great. It can be excessively difficult reasoning through these things, right? But that's really hard for you to understand, right? It can be really hard if you've never been in that world. Go is simple yet performant, yeah. Curious, it's just a curious take that I think I can agree with. I think. I did some back of the napkin estimates at the rate in which these languages become more complex, based on the rate at which they add features per year. My approach wasn't very scientific, but I'm sure the point comes across. C, 0.73 new features per year, measured by the number of bullet points in the C11 article on Wikipedia, which summarizes the change from C99, adjusted to account for the fact that C18 introduces no new features. C11 pretty much just gave the new threads, right? It dropped P threads for some new naming conventions. Am I right for that? And some like basic new ways to kind of do things. Go, 2 new features per year, measured by the number of new features listed in the Wikipedia summary of the Go versions. Okay. C++, 11.3 new features per year, measured by the number of bullet points in the C++ 17 article, which summarizes the changes from C++ 14, which will be implemented in 2032. Rust 15 new features per year, measured by the number of headers in the release notes of the major Rust version over the past year, minus things like linters. Interesting. I mean, there is something very nice about a language that does not change drastically, but there is also something very nice about getting features that make your life easier. So I'm not sure if I don't know if these are good or bad measurements. It's really hard to kind of, I guess the real measurement you're looking for is how many changes make material impact to how you write code. Right? I think that would be a better measurement. Assembly, 0 new features. I don't know, just something, think about this. This speaks volumes to the stability of these languages, but more importantly, it speaks to their complexity. Over time, it rapidly becomes difficult for one to keep an up-to-date mental map of Rust and how to solve problems idiomatically. This is true. I would agree with this. As more and more features are added, it does become more difficult. You do have to continuously be pursuing and pushing in to become good at Rust. I agree with that. A Rust program written last year already looks outdated, whereas a C program written 10 years ago also has pretty good odds of being just fine. System programmers don't want shiny things. We just want things that work. That really cool feature other language has, not interested. It'll be more trouble than it's worth. Okay. I think that's a good point. I think that's a good argument for why languages with large change aren't as great. Like the same thing with JavaScript. Like JavaScript in the last few years, it is very, like, it is disgusting looking at JavaScript that's 10 years old. Like, it's gross. It's insane. You know what I mean? Like, you look at it and you're like, what the hell's happening in here? It's crazy. And then you look at JavaScript even just a few years ago, and it looks like, wow, they should have used this or they should have used that. And it's because there's just so much change so quick. Also, just looking at JavaScript can also be kind of gross too. All right, anyways, with the philosophy wish-wash out of the way and a tone set, let me go over some more specific problems when considering Rust as a C replacement. C is the most portable programming language. Rust actually has a pretty admirable selection of supported targets for a new language, thanks mostly to LLVM, but it pales in comparison to C, which runs almost everything. A new CPU architecture and operating system can barely be considered to exist until it has a C compiler, and once it does, it unlocks access to a vast repository of software written in C. Many other programming languages such as Ruby and Python are implemented in C, and you get those for free too. C has a spec. No spec means there's nothing keeping Rust C honest. Any behavior it exhibits could change tomorrow. Some weird thing it does could be a feature or a bug. There's no way to know until your code breaks. That can't slow down to pin. They can't slow down to pin down exactly what defines Rust is also indicative of an immature language. C feels complete. Maybe that's why there's a spec. Rust is still in the process. They don't even have like impl everywhere. You know what I mean? By the way, this article has no affiliation with the Rust Foundation. C has many implementations. C has many competing compilers. They all work together, stressing out the spec, fishing out the loosely defined corners, and pinning down exactly what C is. Code that compiles in one and not another is indicative of a bug in one of them. True statement. A statement in which you cannot argue. Which gives a nice extra layer of testing to each. By having many implementations, we foresee to be well-defined, and this is good for the language and its long-term stability. Rust C could stand to have some competition as well. Maybe it would get faster. Maybe. C has consistent and stable ABI. The system of V ABI is supported on a wide variety of systems that have been mostly agreed upon by now. Rust, on the other hand, has no stable internal ABI. You have to compile and link everything all in one go on the same version of Rust compiler. The only code which can interact with the rest of the ecosystem is unidiomatic Rust, written at some kind of checkpoint between Rust and the outside world. The outside world exists. It speaks System 5 or System V. What is it? Do you say System V or System 5? And us systems programmers spend a lot of time talking to it. System 5. Okay. I actually think a V. We got a V in there as well. I agree. I agree with this point. I think this is a good point, especially about this part, because I know that is a bane of a lot of people in writing Rust, is trying to, is the interaction points with the outside world. Oh, System U. I like that. Cargo is mandatory. On a similar line of thought, Rust compiler flags are not stable. Attempts to integrate it with other build systems have been met with hostility from the Rust and Cargo teams. The outside world exists, and us system programmers spend a lot of our time integrating things. Rust refuses to play along. Okay, maybe a little salt there. Concurrency is generally a bad thing. Serial programmers have X problems, and parallel programmers have X to the Y problems, where Y is the amount of parallelism you introduce. Parallelism in C is a pain in the ass for sure, and this is one reason I find Go much more suitable to those cases. However, nearly all programs needn't be parallel. Strange contraction. A program which uses pull effectively is going to be simpler, reasonably performant, and have orders of magnitude fewer bugs. Fearless concurrency allows you to fearlessly employ bad software design 9 times out of 10. It's pretty good. I do agree with this whole fearless concurrency thing. I've written some pretty poor performing code that I just could write faster in Rust or in Go. Granted, skill issue there. Granted, that's a skill issue. But nonetheless, it's just easier to write it faster because you just don't have to think as hard, right? You're just like, and go. Oh, that's fast first try. Cool, dog. But I do agree that when you write it in Rust, I feel like I have more confidence in it. but it takes a bit of time. You know what I mean? It takes a bit of time. Safety, yes, Rust is more safe. I don't really care. Okay, I care about that one. In light of all those problems, I'll take my seg faults and buffer overflows. I especially refuse to rewrite it in Rust because no matter what, rewriting an entire program from scratch is always going to introduce more bugs than maintaining the C program ever would. I don't care about what language you rewrite it in. Okay, so this is an interesting, this one is kind of interesting. I think I disagree at this point. I do think that when safety is a concern, using a language which has enforced safety like built-in language features, I think is a better choice. Can we agree to that? Base memory safety disregarder. Yeah, I think that this makes more sense. Right? This makes more sense in that world. And safety is just easier to get right in Rust. Just hands down. So if safety is a requirement, I think it makes more sense. That's why I'm not necessarily opposed to Rust being in more of the operating system level, because it's just going to be less likely to introduce dumb bugs. There'll still be bugs, right? Can you code CPP safe? Sort of. I mean, there's always what's it called? There's always like unique pointers and shared pointers, right? Safety is always a requirement. Yeah, maybe. Why do you often highlight from the first? I don't know. I like going like this. It just feels good. Did you see the F-35 pilot needing to eject because of computer issues? Like, wouldn't? Maybe it would happen in Rust. I can't say it would or would not happen in Rust. That's the hard part about this, Mix Nuts, which is you can't say it would or would not happen in Rust because Rust enforces things, and it actually enforces less things. Like integer rolling over, right? Classic one. It will hard error in debug mode and not hard error in release mode. So that's like a real thing, right? That's like a real thing that can cause a whole set of issues in which, you know, what do you do that? Grug hates Rust. Be back later. Work, yeah. You know, I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just saying it's just different. The language does not matter. The developer does. No, that's not true either. That's not true. Languages have various levels of safety built into them, right? That's because if the language doesn't matter, let's all just use C. Your answer would be like, well, actually, yeah. Actually is correct. Well, actually is actually the correct answer to that. All right, anyways, C is far from a perfect language. It has many flaws. However, its replacement will be simpler, not more complex. Consider Go, which has a lot of success in supplanting C for many problems. It does this by specializing on certain classes of programs and addressing them with the simplest solution possible. It hasn't completely replaced C, but it has made a substantial dent in the problem space. More than I can really say for Rust, which made similar strides for C++, but definitely not C. I think Zig is pretty interesting in this case. I think Zig has a long way to go on tooling. And I think once Zig has really good tools, I think Zig will become a great contender. Until then, I think Zig is really hard to get behind just because, you know, the LSP is just not great, right? And I know there's a lot of difficulties with it, but it really is important to have good tools in this day and age because people just, you know, it's just like memorizing phone numbers. At one point, I was super good at memorizing phone numbers, and then the cell phone came around, and now I don't have to memorize cell phone numbers, and now I'm really bad at memorizing cell phone numbers, and I don't really want to go back to the time where I memorized cell phone numbers. LSPs are kind of similar to that. Like, I could totally program without an LSP, but I would rather program with one, hands down, every single day of the week, right? The kitchen sink approach doesn't work. Rust will eventually fail to the jack of all trades, master of none problem that C++ has. Wise language designers start small and stay small. Wise system programmers extend the philosophy to designing entire systems, and Rust is probably not going to be invited. Dang. Little does the future know on this one. Rust does get a bit more invited later on. Doesn't know in light of this article. Let's see. I understand that many people, particularly those already enamored with Rust, won't agree with much of this article. But now you know why we are still writing C, and hopefully you'll stop bloody bothering us about it. Status update. I guess Rust is okay. It is. I mean, it's a good article in the sense that it shows you how different people think, right? Who is bothering that man? Rust people. By 2019, it was pretty obvious that it was adopted by the industry. Definitely not. Most certainly not. It was not obvious. Even now, it's not fully obvious. What is going to be the outcome of Rust? I do not know. I don't know what is the outcome of Rust. I think it has great potential. I think there's some big hurdles it has to come over. And some of those hurdles are definitely the foundation itself, the people in leadership. I would love to see different engineers in place. It sounds like they're really great engineers that are just terrible at people problems. That's what it seems like to me. I'm curious if Rust is fully sustainable always. Like, could you do that? I don't know. I think so. I think you could. But I'm curious what larger projects look like, right? What do larger, fast-changing projects look like? Is that the right commitment? Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, Amazon and Microsoft most certainly are committed to Rust, but that doesn't mean it's widely accepted, right? Industry accepted means that you have industries using it, right? Just because somebody uses something like Objective-C had an entire ecosystem in which everybody had to write in at some point to make like iOS stuff. That's an industry standard. Now, was it a good one? No, it was shitty. But nonetheless, it still was one. And so that's kind of what you have to kind of think about. Just because there is niche projects, whether or not they're large, it's still a niche project. It's still just Amazon doing just Amazon things, right? It is. It is. I've written that. Microsoft is committed to safety of Rust, not Rust itself. Yes, this is also true. Objective-C was kind of cool. It was also kind of horrible. Mojo is a real meh. I actually like Objective-C. What? Large Go projects are hell. Yeah, I'd like to see this because I know a lot of people that say large. I'm working in a large Go project at Netflix, and people, it seems pretty. It seems pretty easy. Seems pretty straightforward, right? I'm interested in Carbon. Carbon's interesting. Objective-C, these nuts. Damn. Netflix, by the way. All right, hey, the name is not the Cyanogen. Sounds like someone got clever with Go. Yeah. Sounds like someone got clever with Go. You can write Brad programs in every language. Like, that's fully possible. Just because somebody wrote a shitty Go program doesn't mean Go's bad. And I agree with this statement. This statement is probably the best one. Any large project is hell. Absolutely. Because they suffer from... The problem with large projects is that you have this thing that happens. It's called the good citizens lead to hell problem. What happens is that you have one part of your program that's written, and it has this like basic kind of structure. It's not very good. We all agree that it's not what you want. So the next part of the project starts getting this really nice kind of features, and everyone really likes this nice project. Well, then people start developing something new, and they go, what should I emulate? I'm a good citizen. I want to write code like everybody else. So they go to one part of the project, they look at it and go, this is how you write something. Therefore, I will write it like this. And they start adopting bad practices into these larger code bases that people no longer want to do. And that's like one of the many reasons why large code bases are hard, is because being a good citizen potentially makes you a bad citizen, right? It makes it bad. It makes bad software. It's weird world. I don't know. That was one of the problems we always had with TVUI, was that we kept having contributions that would reintroduce bad versions of stuff, right? Yeah. It's really hard. It's really, really hard. Down with the citizens. It's very, very hard. Well, docs and QA is also extremely hard, right? The problem with docs is that they go out of date faster than anything else. I don't know why I do that. Because I like to. I refuse to give my C++ smart pointers, Maria. Yeah, that's fine. You can do that. Is there a VOD channels for the... yeah, there's the ThePrimeagen and the Vimigen. I think stronger the rules of the language type system, the more it can help with larger projects. Potentially. I'm not sure if there's a curve there. But yeah, it always causes you to need the fast launch products to check your idea, and then you can just stop for a half year and rewrite everything. Sometimes. The problem is once you do that, you start needing more and more and more and more and more and more and more. You know what I mean? It's almost like there is no good thing. Agile eschews comprehensive documentation for that reason. Yes, I don't think comprehensive documentation is good, and I don't think it's bad. I don't know what the best answer is. That's my That's the thing, is I don't think there's a good answer. No documentation sucks. Some documentation can suck too. Out-of-date documentation is the worst thing. Wrong documentation actually is worse than out-of-date, which out-of-date is often wrong. That's why I guess, say that it's the worst thing. Good documentation's great, right? That stupid phrase people say that's like documentation's like sex, even bad documentation. You sometimes want that. That's not true. I don't want bad documentation. It's just wrong. It's horrifying. Yeah. React class-based sucks. Sometimes there's ways to make it really, really fast. Said by a virgin. Said by a virgin. It depends. Is a crappy stance, to be honest. No, it doesn't. No, it's not. Give me a doc stance then, Yuri. Give me a doc stance that makes sense. Right? Do you want... What's your doc sense, right? Because here's the deal. You have a project that's not going to change, that is going to be highly reliant library. Guess what? That is a fantastic project to have a really intense documentation on, because it's not going to change. It is a simple, small library. Great. Now, you can't take that idea and scale it to anything, right? There is no one answer fits all. Rust docs are not great. Some Rust docs are good. Some Rust docs suck. It depends. It's truly the definition of good software response. Everything in software is trade-offs. Yes. Bad docs give you false hope. Yes. How do you quantify good documentation? Examples. API. I want to see, this is what this thing does. This are the APIs available. This is how you use the APIs. Examples are just a must. Yes, give me examples. Absolutely. Examples are hands down one of the most important parts. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, they will increase the amount of mediocre docs for a while. Yeah. How do you get your first job learning React? Find out what people want and do that. Doc tests are awesome. That's interesting. Java docs are the best ones. Said no one. Yeah, I don't know. Example, give idea of design of the solution. Yep, it helps. Examples, yes. I love examples. Kylie, thank you very much. Appreciate that. I realize I have alerts off. Let's turn on alerts for a second.
Welcome to Costco.
I love you. Hey, thank you very much. Hey, Leonidas, I appreciate that. Did I miss that? And Mike in 300. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Snack Lickman, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime. And Kigros, thank you for the resubscribe 5 months. And ABDO644. Look at those permissions. This man can SSH like a boss. Thank you for the resubscribe. Appreciate that. I think these are new. Hermie, thank you for the gifted sub. And Leonardo. No, never mind. I remember Leonardo. But thank you, Leonardo. Either way. Sometimes documentation is very verbose and there aren't enough examples, and it makes the tool harder to understand. Exactly. Normally, I split my project in libraries and APIs those documents well, and I found that it reduces documentation on the project side. Yep, that's pretty good. What's the worst HP status code?
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
I don't know. Definitely not 419. Yasha, thank you very much. Hard Luigi vibes right now. You getting hard? 301. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, is it 418, not 419? Yeah, 418. Okay, yeah. Are we learning OCaml today? No, 404. That one's just annoying, but it's not like a bad one. I mean, it makes sense to have. It has to make sense. You know what I mean? At some level, it makes sense. Did we get everything done? We're gonna read this. I hope you understand that we're reading this. Okay? I hope you understand we're reading this. Okay? This is hilarious. This is hilarious. The coloring seems a little bit weird. Let's see if we go like this. Oh gosh. Yeah, well, looks like we got gold or goldenrod. Which one do you want to go with? Goldenrod or kind of turd gold? I'm going to go with turd gold. Okay? We're going to go with turd gold. All right. Hey, a lesson in hard work. This is a copy of my Medium post, which the Primeagen couldn't open, which is the copy of my LinkedIn post, which the Primeagen couldn't open. So I've reactivated my university blogging account just for you. I hope you like it. I do. Thank you for this meme. This is a great meme. I remember making this meme. I originally made this meme to say, what's it called? For Rich Harris and I. Rich Harris and I did a little side-by-side, and I wanted it to look like The Usual Suspects, and so I made this originally then. If this is pea color, you need to go to the doctor, okay? This ain't pea color. If your pea looks like this, go to the doctor, please. Well, I hope the music doesn't ruin that intro. It is a trend nowadays to say work smart and not work hard, and to say them, let's see, and to... I forgot alerts. I can't believe it. Thank you. Damn it! Thank you. Appreciate that. The Forgotagen, yeah. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. That is equivalent to saying using half your potential. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is strong. That is like lifting weights with one hand. The world record for two-handed weightlifting is more than double the world record for one-handed weightlifting. So 1 + 1 is greater than 2 in this case. Working smart, when combined with working hard, has the potential for exponential growth. Okay. I like where this is going. I do like where this is going. Many people think that Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates are incredibly smart individuals, and they got rich because of that. But they don't see the years of hard work and dedication that was behind their success. Besides for Bill Gates potentially stealing a bunch of things from, what was his name? Tim something? Steven something? I can't remember. But Jeff Bezos, like, you look at some of those old pictures of Amazon, he has Gary Kildall, right? Kildall? Is that the person's name? Anyways, like, Jeff Bezos has this picture of, it's like an Amazon flag, like a banner. He has some hair, and he's like in an office, like, I'm making Amazon, right? So yeah, I mean, it didn't start off amazing. He had $250,000. I forgot how he got $250,000, and he used that to support himself while he worked for a long time, right? Well, he had hair at that point. It is important. It's important to work. It's important to stay both smart and hard work together, because often only one of them is advertised as the key factor of success. But that is misleading. Society must learn to delve deep into the topic before deciding a verdict and understand concept and issues from a holistic perspective. Okay, now, I mean, come on. What do you, dude? Society decides based on a tweet. Okay? Real talk. I go like this. I go to Twitter, and I jump on here, and I go like this. Work hard. Tweet it. Send it now. And guess what? People are going to be pissed. I'm going to get those kind of things. You can do all sorts of different statements like this. Just makes people all sorts of rascally and angry. And now I've also lost where I was. There we go. We're back. Epic tweet. Oh, people are going to get so angry on this one. We'll watch at the end of this, and people will be like, well, most of you are going to jump in that tweet and be like, oh, these nuts got him. Right? I don't want to read that. All right. That is the only way to make real progress. My commitment to hard work and smart work is by working every day and night. Okay, well, sometimes you want to take, you got to know when to ease off the brakes, man. I haven't taken a single day off from the office in 3 years since I completed my bachelor and joined the company. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is good. I know there's seasons where you work really hard, and I've been there. I remember my first couple years, I was working wild. And one thing I think that probably makes a difference also is, do you have community at your job? I found that when I had community at my job, I worked a lot more hours, right? And 2, do you have kids? I think kids make a lot of difference. I don't know if this is satire or not, but I'm just taking this currently as not satire, right? I don't know if this is satire, so I'm just taking it as not satire. But, when I had kids, it greatly changed my hours and how I worked. You know what I mean? Because all of a sudden, there's like a whole new world that I really have to consider. And it genuinely changed who I am. Have I missed a single day of work at the office? No. Do I have a lot of leaves accumulated? Yes. Are a lot of them expiring and have expired? Yes. Have I worked overtime almost every day? Yes. Am I getting paid for overtime? No. Do I care? No. Am I normal? No. Why am I doing this? I'll tell you below. Keep reading. Okay. That's straight. I mean, this is a whole strange sentence right here. Let's find out. I have met some incredibly smart people and have worked under some amazingly brilliant minds. Minds so smart and so foreseeing that I often left awestruck and sometimes confused about the decisions made. They can see more into the future than I can right now, and that I find unacceptable. They are giants of knowledge, and I am but a hobbit. Okay, they work incredibly hard and smartly. I love the Lee at the end. That the only resource I am left with, if I'm to catch up to them, is time. So I must use time as an ally. If I work hard, I work harder for longer. If they make smart decisions, I think and learn for longer. And while they relax or sleep, I'll close the distance between us and us slowly but surely. This is a hard mentality here. I'm not so sure about this. The generation of future. I'm gonna try to give my opinion at the end of this, but let's let the person cook. Okay, let's let them cook. The generation of future is being built now. Enough of looking at success stories through life hacks, or billionaires trying to row their boat through a bridge, or CEO trying to fight each other in a cage match. Okay, that's funny. Focus on improving yourself every day. This will pay bountiful dividends in the future. So I do agree with this statement. Every night or weekend after completing my office work, I try to build the tools and technologies that I think might be useful. Every night or weekend, I try to think about what I can contribute to help the business. This enables me to understand business and technology, and more importantly, learn to gain a holistic perspective on the world. This is my free life hack to build and deploy production-level software for the benefit of myself and the company. I can get my ideas tested in the real world and see their benefits. This enables me to think as a manager, product developer, security NOC engineer, software developer, artist, UI, UX, etc. Many people in the world do not have the opportunity to work, so when you are presented with one, you must make the most of it. You must learn not to just do the work, but also to understand the mechanisms and complex processes that govern the work going on. This will enable you to contribute more and improve yourself slowly and steadily, becoming the giants you admire. It is important to think as it is to work. Only doing both will lead to true success. Let's let them finish cooking, okay? Hold on. Let's let them finish cooking. Farmers, for example, work incredibly hard. They must possess knowledge of the plants they grow, the seasons and affect their crops, harvesting methods, best crop storage practices, money lending or borrowing techniques, financing, and so much more. Even after all of this incredible knowledge, they still must go out and work from dawn to dusk and tend the crop each day. I'm in incredible awe of their craft and dedication to hard work. Yeah, people have absolutely no effing idea how much people work. Like, one of my good buddies is a potato farmer. Literally works from like 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. for months on end to just get things going, right? And that's part of a farmer's life. Can you compare the two? I don't know. But it is very, very hard. Like, I don't know if you can say they're the same, or you should say they're the same, but it's just a very interesting perspective that there are professions that require work that is incredibly different than what we do. I don't buy the whole, thought workers, if you will, can only work for 30 hours a week before becoming burnt out. I definitely don't think that that's real. But I don't think that you can just continuously work. The top management of famous companies often comment about how they work 16, 18, 20 hours or even sleeplessly every day. While this may be expressive hyperbole of the hard work and pressure they face in their jobs as heads of large organizations, it serves as a reminder to others that no matter how high you reach, there is still room to grow higher. And if the top management is not sleeping, then we must also strive just as hard and develop ourselves. The problem about not sleeping is that it's kind of a pay me now, pay me later problem. You know what I mean? Because if you don't sleep well, you get dementia. You get horrible, horrifying disease problems in your brain, and your brain rapidly gets awful. And I don't think I want that. I want to end well. You know what I mean? Cortisol levels. Yeah, absolutely. Huge cortisol levels. You get all sorts of problems. I like a good amount of hydration, a good amount of exercising, a decently good diet, and a lot of exercise and good sleep, right? I think all those are really, really healthy. And then some good, like, side physical hobbies. And so I do a little bit of, a little bit of gardening. I do a little bit of tending the field that I have. I have to, like, do a lot of weeding and all that. And a little bit of cocaine, of course, absolutely. Just a touch, just a touch to make it fun. But, like, physical hard work is just different than mental work. And I'm not sure you can relate the two. And they both have their version of burnout. Really hard physical work means that you spend your body fast, and then towards the end of your life, you hurt. And so there likely is an equivalence. I'm not sure if physical is easier. I don't believe that statement. I'm not sure which one it is. You know what I mean? You have no joints left. So one would argue that if you did the same thing with your brain, could you also experience something towards the end of your life? Like, if you really think about it, we've never lived in a world where this much thought is just like freely being worked on, right? This mental work life is a very new world concept, right? 1,000 years ago, people weren't like, oh, you know what I do? I work from home. Yeah, I sit at home and I study. I'm just a studier. Like 100 people got to do that. Like it wasn't like a huge crowd of people got to do this. So I don't know. I'm not sure. That whole autopilot thing, I also don't know about that. When I was in college, I did literally study math for 16 hours a day to catch back up. Did I think it was bad? No. Was I able to catch back up? Absolutely. Did I become number one in my class? Absolutely. So, is it bad? Is it good? I don't know. Are there seasons where you really want to fight hard? I think so. Are there seasons where you need to back off? Absolutely. I just don't think. To me, this article is not necessarily an article that I think people should strive for. I think that I am less worried about burnout. I don't think you'll be burnt out if you can find joy in what you're doing or satisfaction in what you're doing. But I do think it is most certain that you will end up having health problems, and that will lead to a life of despair. Health problems are incredibly, incredibly difficult, and they can be incredibly, incredibly like hurt deep down. And that's not worth it either. I've met some people. There's this guy that will be in chat every now and then, RXJX. And, he was this person. He would work constantly. Dude, he ended up getting some problems, some health problems that affect him for the rest of his life. Well, and he had to completely change his diet, how he exercises, his sleep patterns, and all these different things. And it was really hard on him. And I still think about that a lot because I also was the person that was like, yeah, hell yeah. But then I learned from him and I was like, got to back off, You got to do something different, Anyways, it is clear that society has evolved so much over the years that we are able to enjoy so many comforts in life. Absolutely. Be happy about what you get in life. But that has the unfortunate consequence of making a lot of people lazy. Yeah, I think it's easier to, we don't have the same needs, for sure. I think people optimize to their situation. It's hard to say it's lazy, but it's also easy to say it's lazy. I'm not sure. I can't say either way. The comforts we enjoy are not to be used for showing off to others, but rather to increase our productivity and improve society. I consider it incredibly wasteful when people destroy things, waste food, litter, etc. On that team, while some people, dude, I really am on that team. You know how many hours a year I spend picking shit out of my property because people throw it off on the street near us? I do it all the time. It is so frustrating. While some people may enjoy the luxury of having so much food, material goods, etc., they don't consider the impact it has on society. Many videos go viral of such acts, but the wastage is unbearable for me. The incredible amount of work that went into growing those crops / building those things is completely wasted. Society does not improve by such acts. We must learn to always respect the money, food, and work of others and use them in such a way to help society. I mean, great ending to this. I'm loving the ending to this. I think we should be much, much more careful about what we do with things. Even if, I even run off well water, and I still try to be very careful with the water I use because it feels free, but that doesn't mean it is free, right? All of these does not, let's see, all of this does not mean we mustn't take breaks. Taking breaks is incredibly important to energize oneself, but you haven't taken a break. But I think I think we can train ourselves to take breaks in a new way. Instead of sitting and browsing the internet, we can think about the future and how to achieve that. Studying, working on improving ourselves as a leisurely activity, a kind of hardcore lifestyle, as you can say. I do agree that browsing the internet is not a great way to take a break, because you're still activating your mind, but you're activating your mind on just like the worst form of dopamine hitting. I'm on that team that's not good, but I think you should be doing, like, you should be connecting with people or exerting yourself physically or enjoying more sleep. You know what I mean? Doom scrolling is awful. Doom scrolling is awful. You know what I mean? Unless you're watching the Prime. Yeah, keep watching me, though. Keep watching. Hey, tune in. Okay, buddy? Okay? Follow me on Twitch. Give me your Twitch Prime right now. Give me them. Give me them! I am suggesting that we make working more enjoyable than seeing random videos on Facebook or looking at memes on Reddit. I'm actually on this team. I think working is way more enjoyable. I am suggesting that something like reading, watching useful stuff such as engineering concepts or business ideas on LinkedIn or Udemy, etc. I say LinkedIn because I find more intellectual content here more often. I'm browsing a different LinkedIn then. Oh, watching the Primeagen counts since he's technically is enlightening us all. Let's go. Got him. Other sites have a higher proportion of distractive content. Certain subreddits can be quite informative as well. Every day I try to change my mindset and I try to find enjoyment in thinking and learning hard concepts. I mean, that's good. This is good to have. I have preached this 1,000 times, which is a hard thing is a good thing. An easy life is not a good thing. Like, I don't think that I'm completely on that team, but there's once you have to measure what is enough of a hard thing. There's complexities here. Like having a wife and kids. The hard thing is saying no to wanting to learn. The reason why I can't make the progress in OCaml, which is eating me alive, is because I'd rather spend time with my kids or with my wife. And that's hard. That's a different kind of hard. Do you know what I mean? It's hard in the worst way because there's the lower will, this desire to just like really crush in and do something. I almost probably get dopamine effects from learning and all that. But the higher will says no. Don't think about it. Don't let your mind be distracted. Be engaged with your kids. And man, there's these times where I can feel it creeping, feeling the desire, feeling to want to go do this, and it's like you have to reel it back. And the hardest part is not just being present physically, but being there like emotionally or mentally or whatever you want to call that, right? Like that is hard. And I find that to be one of the hardest activities ever, but I absolutely love the challenge of being better at that. Present. To all my engineering folks less experienced than me, I suggest you build complete microservices on something which can be useful for you and your team. For example, it's good. It's good. Yeah, if you're learning how to learn and you want to get a good job, this is a great piece of experience. I think this is great. For example, in my personal case, I built a microservice to collect data from all of our microservices. We had multiple portals to access information from our databases, logging platforms, and so many APIs that are many microservices, etc., that it wasted a lot of time to find, log in, and access them. So on my weekends, out of my own interest, I built a microservice that connected to everything else and provided a common platform to access everything in one go. That's great experience, by the way. I'm a backend developer who knows backend popular languages like Java, Kotlin, these nuts, Golang, C++, Python, etc. By doing this, I learned front-end technologies like JavaScript, React framework, etc. I also learned about Docker to build microservices and Nginx to route to different requests for multiple applications running on the same container. I think of this as my mini product and my teammates as my customers. Well, this is good. This is tools developer mindset right here. Every weekend I spent some time thinking about how I can improve me and my teammates' lives and help boost productivity by adding cool new features. So, this is a good habit to be in some sense. Like when I built the tool that I'm currently working on Netflix, this was my mentality of how can I improve this thing for me and the people working on this product? How can I do that? What are the key points? How can I make something useful? And in my own time and time of work, I went and crushed out something that was awesome. And now I'm happy I did it. To all my senior engineers who are more experienced than me, thank you for taking care of younger folks. You're a guide who, you are the guide who will lead them to greatness. I hope you're able to teach or learn to teach the younger folks some valuable lessons which may help them in the future. Be kind to those under you. They will surely repay your kindness and learn from each other, for the younger generation is building so many cool new things that soon you might have a hard time keeping up with us. It's an interesting take. I do think that one of the most important things I've ever done is teaching. I don't like teaching. I truly don't. But I think it's one of the greatest activities to partake in. Being able to explain something to somebody who thinks differently than you makes you understand the topic in a very deep way. He's most certainly a kid. The fact that he thinks that the younger generation's building cool things. I've seen React server components. I'm not buying it. I have taken a lot over the years. I have relentlessly consumed a lot of knowledge from varying sources. I've watched lectures from MIT and read developer notes in Chinese. I've seen so many tutorials on YouTube and read so many articles on blog sites that I feel it unfair to keep my knowledge shared with me a secret. Those who helped me did so with the purpose of improving society and advancing mankind, I believe, and must do my part by returning the favor and helping those who may find this article useful. So the danger of an article like this is that ultimately what you're doing is you're making work or knowledge or self-improvement your God. And its demands are ever and unsatiated. And I find that to be a very dangerous thing. So you really do have to be careful about making work, self-improvement, any of those things God. Because that's not a good God. That's a bad God. That's a God that will never be satisfied. That's a God that will constantly drive you. And you will end up getting sick. You'll end up losing a lot of life. You'll end up missing out on opportunities that are significantly better. I love the drive for knowledge, though. I love the willingness to do hard things. I love that you favor hard work. I think that's good. I think that's a really, really good mentality. But not all the problem is that hard work can become a drug. Just like any other drug, and it can enslave you just as hard as any other drug. And you will affect those around you and yourself. So you got to learn to say no and do the hard thing for you, which is to not do it. Being in control of yourself, your actions, and your responses are very, very, very hard. That's what I say. If you in here can't sit down for 10 hours and crush out a problem undisturbed and do it well, then I think you have a problem. And if you can't help but to constantly work, I think you have a problem. If you are not in control of yourself, I think you have a problem. Right? You've just let the lower will win, whatever that lower will looks like. Right? Be the dog, not the tail. Do you know what I mean? There you go. That's my opinion on this article. Just like everything, I think there's meat and I think there's bones. Eat the fish, spit the bones. Eat the fish, spit the bones. He got that dog in him. Arr! Fish is good. There you go. I hope that you enjoyed that part. Oh, I did not realize Primeagen has courses I can learn. I will mute the Primeagen and listen to the Primeagen now. Go for it. I have to go. Nice streaming, dude. Hey, no problem. I think, like I said, I think the article is both good and bad. I think that it can be dangerous, and I think that it can be great. I think that the problem is that, again, Primeagen's a furry. Confirmed? I'm not a furry. I'm not a furry. Flip, if you didn't notice, by the way, Flip, if you didn't notice, the end marker for this video is also the marker for the thing you want. Why would you kill yourself for a company? They will replace you in a week if they wanted to. See, I don't like that mentality either, right? There's to care for something is an important activity, even if they don't care for you. I care for Netflix, even though they will just replace me at some point. You know what I mean? That's okay. I can still care for them. It is part. I'm doing it because I want to be great at what I do. You know what I mean? I'm not saying something positive or something negative. I'm just saying that I think it's good to care. I think it's good to drive yourself. I think it's good to become great at something. Yeah, you should care because it is your primary source of income. It is true. It's your primary source of income. Step 0, care. Having purpose is the goal. However we find it. Yeah, well, see, the thing is so working, I do not think derives purpose. If you were on Dax's podcast earlier, I do not think work is meant for purpose. Work is meant for satisfying. Have you ever worked really hard and looked over something and been satisfied? I think that's where the addiction comes from. Because we work in this broken world where everything becomes a drug, effectively. I think good work and satisfaction make you go, and then all of a sudden it becomes a drug. And then now you have to constantly work. You know?
Welcome to Costco.
I don't think work provides purpose.
I love you.
I do not think work provides purpose.
Welcome to Costco.
I think work provides satisfaction, which is different.
Welcome to Costco.
I work to hopefully not have to work. Yes. This, yeah. Are you dyslexic? Severely. But I've really gotten good at defeating it for the most part. I've been really working on it. You should have saw me in my early stream days. People were just Beastco. Dude, people just loved making fun of me. Oh my goodness, I got railed all the time. The company doesn't own your skills. Yeah, this is good. This is a good point right there. Oh yeah, it was fun. At this point, you need to define work. Otherwise, the conversation is meaningless. Work is anything that you use to provide for, right? What I mean by like tilling a field is as much as making websites, right? That's work. Work is doing something to provide for yourself or to bring, maybe it's better to say to bring order to the unordered. Might be a better way to put it. Maybe. Bringing order might be, you know, because that's kind of like our job is to bring order. It's a really tough balance. I went from strongly depressed, spent days even without eating, to a workaholic that wouldn't even pay attention to loved ones. I'm on your team. It's hard. There's no one size fits all thing. Isn't super accurate. Let's see. What might work for me might not work for you, and might work for yeah. There is definitely individualization to it, but there's always some broad archetype of something. No one should be ashamed of dyslexia. All right, that's silly. LinkedIn Lunatics, I love LinkedIn Lunatics. It's my favorite. There's one guy that makes popular things all the time. All right, once again, like every month, but I feel I owe it to you. Thank you so much, so much for your influence and help. I am a very new engineer, as you may know, and you've helped grow exponentially. I really appreciate you and hope that you keep growing. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that, Elijah. This is really, really nice. Preston Fortnite, thank you for the Twitch Prime. And of course, this right here. I always appreciate the high optimizations. Another one. One more zig when I get back to the compiler. Mr. Playin' Pim, thank you very much for the resubscribe. Thank you for the 100 biddies. Thank you for the 35 biddies. Thank you for the Casref Dev. Thank you very much for that. Tier 1. Let's go. A bad AI bad algorithm. Thank you very much, bad algorithm. Fusion Break. Thank you. Brand new Twitch Prime, Crazy Bone Man. Thank you, Crazy Boner Man. I appreciate that. Dumb, thick, shouty. Let's go, dumb, thick, shouty. Oh, there's a hype trade. I didn't even know there was. Hamster Fisk, thank you very much for giving out 5 community subs. Thank you. And Monique Live, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's go. Danny in Kiev, thank you for the 100 biddies. Loki Adventure, thank you for the 1, 2, 3 biddies. You know I love gradually increasing numbers. My favorite number, I have numbers that mean a lot to me, and one of them is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like a very important thing. 222 is another one. After I got done smoking the meths, if you will, when I was trying to like become sober and to get over things, what I did is I would listen to the Bible on tape, literal tape, and try to fall asleep because I could not fall asleep, and it was just super hard for me. Dude, the fact that you did this just bothers me. It just bothers me so much. You did 1, 2, 4, 3. Chelstastic, it's like you knew what you're doing just to emotionally bruise me like that. And so I'd listen to that to try to fall asleep. I'd listen to the Old Testament because I wanted just to hear stories of fighting and such. And every single night, I would wake up at 2:22 like clockwork. And it was like, it's just like this, I couldn't escape this. And then my mother started doing it too. We would both in the morning be like, did you wake up at 2:22? I woke up at 2:22. Weird. You know, like, and it just kept, I remember one time I sat in bed and I woke up and I'm like, I'm not looking at it. I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to look at it. No, I'm not looking at it. I'm not going to look at it. And I sat there for like 20 minutes going, not going to look at it. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Fine, I'll look at it. Boom, 2:22. It's like it played me. I got played.
Give it to me at all.
I played myself directly into 2:22. It was incredible. It was an incredible moment. And the same thing happened with 12:34. The exact same thing happened with 12:34. And it was nuts. TJ edited. Thank you very much, TJ edited. Are you like Teach DeV? Just not? Oh, you get 9/11 all the time? It's weird. Dude, it was the weirdest thing. It was just the weirdest thing. I don't think I don't think numbers have, like, I'm not someone that like, oh, because this is a 7 it means this, or oh, it's a 6 therefore it's bad, right? Like, I'm not really into that kind of stuff. But I definitely think yes, yeah, we do that. But I definitely think there is something about how you can grow this weird affinity for something and you can imbue meaning on a pattern that you see. And I think that that's neat, you know? Yeah, it could be, yeah. Sacred geometry is cool. Let's see, I check the time at 10:29 every day. It's my birthday, October. Oh, interesting, yeah. Grow affinity for this ass. Damn, Jakery. Hey, thank you for, I literally have no idea what that unit is. I don't know what that is, but thank you for those units. I wake up every morning at 7:29, never set an alarm. Yeah, the pattern is confirmation bias. There's probably plenty of times that weren't 2:22. No. So that's the thing, is it was never that. That's what made it so bizarre during that time period. Because both my mother and I were getting kind of freaked out. That's why I stopped looking at the clock. There was like an entire thing that I would just look up, and it was just the same, and it kept happening over and over again for weeks on end. And it was just like real weird. And it freaked me out. Freaked me out. Got all weirded out on it. Yeah, it was crazy. Every single time I looked at the clock, it was 2:22. Plot twist, broken clock. Got him. Do you think it's worth reading programming books where there are so many free resources? Yeah, of course. Reading books is good, right? Yeah, I mean, very well, that could be true. Probably demons. Could be true. I cannot tell you anything in which it probably is. I can just simply say, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't control the universe. I'm not here to tell you what how these things happen. My broken clock is correct only once per day. What?
Welcome to Costco.
Should be at least twice per day, minimum. How is the Wheel of Time going? Great. About to finish book 3. Is Nightshade Dude here? No. Hey, Beast was talking about how you used to make fun of my reading. I don't wake up anymore in the morning. I sleep now throughout the night. How do you deal with indecision with so many choices and options? Take one. Right? Take one. That's it. Oh, I just got back from the vet for dog shots. Oh, nice. A plot twist. You weren't even waking up. Got him. Oh, that'd be great. That is a great one. You can always control things. At some point, you realize what you're doing, and that's when you get the option. Thank you, Beast Co. Oh my goodness, look at Beast Co go. Beast Co is about to show off the most beautiful thing in the universe. Thank you, Beast Co. Appreciate that. But, what I say is, I used to say this phrase to me when I was trying to quit porn. I had a problem objectifying ladies. And so when I was trying to quit porn, I used to say the phrase, first looks on God. And what I mean by that is that I was frequently objectifying the ladies. And when I'd turn a corner and see a nice-looking lady, I would begin the process of objectifying. But it's because I didn't have a choice on that person being there. And then my body took over in that moment. And the moment I realized what I was doing was when it became my choice. Right? Then it's my choice. Right? You know what I mean? That was my choice. And so then at that point, I had to stop it. You know what I mean? Anyways. There's just so many things. I'm not gonna answer this question. You need to answer that. I cannot possibly answer that question. Right? You won't be able to control if you don't believe you can control it. Sure. Go for it. Right. How did you get into working hard? Needing to pass college. Christoph, thank you very much for the raid, by the way. Let me do a little shout out. Sorry. I have resizing on. All right, people. Thank you for the raid. I really genuinely appreciate that, but I must now go myself. Oh my goodness, Man of Salad, let's go. Let's go, Man of Salad. All right, who do we raid? Who do we raid? Who do we raid? Who do we raid? We got study time. I like study time. Watching the Twitch CEO interviewed by the stock guy. Oh, the stock guy's interviewing Twitch CEO? Let's go, stock guy. Let's go, stock guy. I like the stock guy. Appreciate that. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, Togglebit is live. Yeah, we could toggle buns. He hasn't been live in a long time. Let's do it. We could do that. Ray Togglebit. He's doing some Rust stuff. Okay, so hey, I appreciate that. Thank you, Kyle. Stonks. Hey, look at that. Look at Beast Co. Look at that gift. You see that? You see that shiny present? That's Beast Co, my friends. Why is everything around starting to become meaningless? Work, family, money, nothing gives me the type of joy. I cannot possibly answer that question. Family becoming meaningless, all that. I mean, that's... We're going to have a username. Feels kind of wild. Well, I'm bored of using Bob. Yes, you can say I suck all you want. There we go, right? And our access counter ABD, I never said that I constantly stay in... The trick is that you know the Hulk when they go, oh, what's your trick? How do you control it? And he says, who says I'm not always angry or something like that? That's what I do. I'm always struggling. I constantly struggle against it. There is no getting over the hump. You know you can do this. You can do this. Welcome to life. Really want to feel a bit. If you lose meaning, for me, exercising and going outside helps a lot. I do think exercising is a huge way just to kind of put yourself back on track. Good sleep. Exercise, eat well is like a really simple, that's my secret, I'm always hard. It's just like a really simple way to get started, right? Really, really, really simple way to get started. You know what I mean? Do that. Very, very simple.